There are over 1,000 UFO sightings reported around the world every month. 90% of these sightings can be explained, but 10% cannot. But officially and unofficially, the U.S. government has been investigating UFOs since 1947. Their top secret goal is to find out what's behind these unexplained sightings. The Pentagon classifies these as unusual airborne anomalies, but a better term is X-Files. Join us as Mack, Juan-Juan, and Commander Cobra explore these unsolved cases, UFO incidents that even baffle the U.S. military. This is Mack Maloney's Military X-Files. And now, here's Mack Maloney.
Is this the famous Barbara?
Yes,
Barbara
yes.
With?
And are you guys all who I think you are?
That again.
No, we can.
Okay. All right.
We can do that.
All right, here we go.
New opening coming down on 3, 2, 1.
Well, good evening, everyone, and welcome to Mack Maloney's Military X-Files show here on the Distant Thunder Radio Network. This is Mack Maloney. We have a very interesting show for you tonight, but first, let me introduce the posse. In the studio, 16th week in a row.
That's right.
Juan-Juan
It's
is
a
here
national record, I think.
in person. Well, for you it is. Okay, let's see now. I don't see any Patriots gear on unless you're wearing Patriots underwear.
No.
Again.
Nope.
No?
Red Sox.
Red Sox? Those losers? Are you?
I know,
kidding me?
they're bumming me out big time.
What kind of jacket do you have on there? Is it your Dillon jacket? Department of State. Oh, hell. Let me out of here.
State Department.
So, Juan, want to see you. Also, calling in later on, did you get the message from him, Juan, or what's going on with, you know who?
He's ready.
He's ready?
Yep.
Okay. So, probably after this segment, Commander Cobra will be joining us from an undisclosed location because he is on a secret mission for the military.
That's right.
And
we had to sign the non-disclosure agreement this week again.
Yeah. So it's kind of funny when you get a message like that from him, you know, but it happens a lot. And he flies over my house.
Yeah, I know.
Which is good. So, you know.
I asked him if he'd drop like a bag of flour
Yeah,
and see if he
flour.
can land it square in the middle of your deck.
First of all, my neighbors saw a bag like that land on my deck. They wouldn't think it was flour. You know what I mean? They'd have, you know, the police would be involved. It would get, you know, uncomfortable and awkward.
The secret helicopter in the secret airport?
Yes, right. Anyway, so the commander will be on in a little while, but we, as I said last week, you know, you have a cool show when celebrities just drop in on you one.
I know. We love celebrities.
And now here's someone who I don't think, well, I know a lot of our listeners have heard about him, but I don't think they've ever heard him. It's Jeff, the editor, is here with us.
That's right.
I'm incognito tonight.
That's right. Well, it's a good idea.
Everybody
when
knows
you're
your work,
working
Jeff.
That's,
Right.
you know, I'm hiding.
Yes, right. You know.
I just wanted to come in and see how the big guys do this.
Oh, really? Yeah.
Yeah,
Where are they?
yeah.
When are they coming?
And plus the fact that I heard Juan-Juan had been in 15 weeks in a row. I wanted to see if he was going to be here for the 16th.
There you go. You know, he had money on week 16 there.
I did. I got to pay up now.
Now, so, you know, as you know, it's got to the point where when you're editing the show, all I have to do is say, at this number, 20 minutes in, 16 seconds, you will hear me say, okay, Jeff, and then the next thing up is,
What you want?
why do you want?
I have arthritis now because of you guys.
Oh, there you go.
From all the editing.
It's the digital equivalent of putting a flag in the tape.
There you go.
I'm flagging something.
Whoa, hang on. If I knew you were going to do material, I would.
You would have got the
I
drum
would
roll
have
already.
Sound effects.
I know.
We're going to pay him extra for
I
material.
guess mark that. I'm the guy that's going to have to put it in. That's right.
Hang on. Oh, here we go.
Oh.
Ready? First one of the night, JJ.
Oh. Is that where that comes from?
That's what it is. Yeah, $48. $48 a sound. Look at how big it is here.
I see it.
I can barely fit in the studio.
Hey, he's cutting into our talent fee. Come on.
Yeah. Don't bring that up. So, how long have you been, censoring people's shows?
Just as long as I've been doing your show.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Hey, Juan-Juan, notice he has the shirt on tonight. How do we?
I got the official shirt.
He does. He must have known we were coming.
No, actually, I was low on laundry.
Oh, there you go. Once again, holy cow, we're going to run out of money.
Yeah.
It is a cool shirt, though.
So actually, Jeff Lawrence. This is Jeff Lawrence. I'm sure anyone who listened to the radio in the 80s, 90s in Boston remember
Today.
Till today, right?
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. You're on Saturday nights. You had this hilarious show. Now, this is really, we're going down Boston Lane here, but how long ago was that when you brought out all the old disc jockeys back?
That was beginning of June.
Really? Okay,
Yeah.
2 months ago. Yeah.
Yeah.
Almost, yeah. Funniest thing. Oh, my God.
Great time. All the old
Oh,
jocks
yeah.
came back, yeah.
But it's funny how many were there? Like 6, 7?
There was 5.
Okay.
yeah.
Arnie Ginsberg, Arnie Woo Ginsberg.
Arnie
was there.
yeah, Chuck Knapp.
Wow, you had Arnie Ginsberg here?
He was in the
Down
studio.
in,
down in
Akio in Boston.
Yeah, yeah. Arnie Ginsberg was in there. Chuck Knapp. Al Gates was the original morning guy. Mm-hmm. Joel Cash, who was the original midday guy.
Cash,
J.J. Jeffrey was there.
Wow, yeah. This is WIKO in Boston was like the rock station in the beginning of the 60s.
Mid 60s, yeah.
Yeah, wow.
From 1967 on.
Wow.
Well, until the FMs came in.
And then you went to
Killed them.
BCN, right? For a while?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, answering phones and just ticking people off.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay, all
Yeah.
right. And how many years were you at BCN?
I was only there for a short time, a year and a half or so.
Okay. I was going to say, how much of it did you remember?
Well,
Because I know people who work there and they can't remember anything.
I remember driving there all the time.
Oh,
I
good.
never remember going home.
That's a stop. Okay, that's
Yeah,
good. That's
yeah,
all right.
that's funny.
That's 50-50. That's fine.
You know.
Yeah. But you and I have talked off here and you said back then it was a lot of fun, right? It was
It was a lot of fun because there were really no rules. We were making it as we went along. We were making the whole thing up.
Yeah.
So once we got it down to a science, then corporate stepped in, and that was the end of it.
Yep. Okay. They just take it over and
just-
ruin
yeah,
it. You know.
yeah, yeah.
Once you know it.
There'll be no happiness at this radio station.
Yeah.
Did you hang out on the big mattress?
No. I get out of there before Laquadera showed up.
then-
Yeah.
yeah.
Wow, that was pre-Laquadera.
Yeah. I ended up going to the big guys, VBF, after that.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, VBF. Yeah. It's there too, huh?
I worked with Austin and Boston and Frank Kingston Smith and
That was a good
the
station.
original Magic Christian.
Yeah,
Bud Ballou and Ron Robin and Pete Falcone and
Wow. Pete Falcone was there one. Wow.
yeah.
Yeah, that's right. Boy, I haven't heard those call letters in years. Where were they now? Did they?
I don't think they're anywhere. I think they're gone. So anybody who wants them can probably get them.
Yeah. Right. Wow.
They're actually the initials of the owner's wife.
Oh, is that right? Yeah.
Yeah.
VBF.
Yeah.
boy.
Victoria Fairbanks.
Fill in joke here. What's her name?
Victoria, I forget what her middle name was, but Victoria Fairbanks.
Oh, really? Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Some rich guy's wife, and he named the station after.
He was, matter of fact, his family was responsible for Fairbanks, Alaska.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah. So, I mean, and you wouldn't believe that this guy was who he was because he'd show up at the radio station with, fishing jeans on with hooks all over him and stuff like
wow.
that. And, there's a lot of stories about old man Fairbanks. Oh,
Yeah. Oh, that's cool. He was just into owning a radio station? Or,
And he owned quite a few radio
he
stations.
liked music, or was it a biz? Too?
I think it was just a family thing to him.
Yeah, nice. Yeah. Hey, that's good. It's a good way to make money, right?
Oh, he sold guns and he did everything.
Oh, right.
Out of the trunk of his car, as a matter of fact.
Oh, my God.
There's some
Just like
stories.
Cobra.
There's some stories, yeah.
Maybe another show.
Yikes.
And that was a long time ago. Statute of limitations is over.
Do you know what are the 7 words we can't say here on the show? Maybe we can help you out a little bit. I mean, I know
You know
we
what?
should memorize
There's
them.
going to be 7 beeps there now.
Okay, I see.
That's more work for me.
Didn't they whittle those down to 5, though, or something?
George Carlin took care of those pretty much, yeah.
I know, it's funny.
Yeah.
Yeah. But you can't, on radio, you can't say the F word now, can you?
No.
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 S word?
No.
No. Okay.
The B word.
The B word?
Depends on how you pronounce
And
it.
what B? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
The C word.
Okay.
C word you can't say.
Yeah. And I know there was a ruling that the FCC said that you can only use the word prick if it's a verb.
That's true.
Okay.
That's
Oh,
true.
like I pricked my
One
finger.
I pricked my finger.
Little.
But that's
lesson
pricked.
Yes.
You've been pricked.
That's
there.
right.
You've been right. Exactly. To be pricked.
You can't say you bleep.
Right.
It's
don't
so
you think,
weird.
Don't you think it's funnier to?
There's no safe harbor on radio?
No.
Okay.
Well, serious, and those the satellite radios you can swear, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, there's no ruling there.
That's where we're going
do
to the
whatever you
tippy
want.
top. They want one, so we can just swear right.
You can do whatever. Why am I beeping things?
Magic radio.
More work again for me.
So anyway, yeah.
But the music beds and stuff you do are beautiful.
Yeah, the bumpers. People really
The bumpers
the
and the
bumpers.
they're a lot of fun to put together.
Yeah.
We had a good time putting those
Yeah,
together.
yeah. Yep. We got to
Time for more?
time for more.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. It's funny because we gave away 20 books of mine in June.
Yep.
And now the people have received their books, so I'm getting a lot of email. I got an email from all 20 people. And it's kind of funny because they all say the same thing. You guys are hilarious. Well, that's it.
We all say the same thing. Yeah.
I know someone said don't change, and I said that's impossible. But when the email comes from a female, which is about 7 out of the 20, I always ask them, Mr. JJ over here. Tell Juan-Juan I said hi.
Really?
Is a little hot for
You're
Juan-Juan.
kidding.
I'm not kidding you. Hots that the emoticons, the hots that blow up. About 6 of them in a row.
Oh boy. Yeah.
What's the address of the Archie bunker? Stuff like that. But I protected you, Juan-Juan.
Thank you.
I didn't give out your information. So, yeah, but a lot of people think the show was funny. No one said, boy, real in-depth analysis of the UFO problem. It's just like you guys are effing funny. So anyway, I think because Jeff is here, what we should do is we should say the 7 bad words, okay? And so you can cut them out, right? Wouldn't that be a good end to the
That'd
segment?
be great, yeah.
Okay, all right. So I'm going to stop.
I know he's thrilled about it.
Okay, you start. Good. Elderly.
I'm not going to start.
Go ahead, please. Please.
You mean
Juan-Juan.
like F word and stuff?
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, let it out.
70. What's the 7
Sure,
words?
let it out.
All right.
Wow, he said it. Anyway, okay, so I'll say, you go, Jeff. Shit. There you go. Okay, so we got we got shit. Okay, what's next? You're going to be here for 2 hours, my friend. Just
I am.
if it's not used as a verb, correct. One. Okay, that's 3.
Motherfucker.
There you go, motherfucker. That's a English people call that a, what is it when you put 2 words together?
MF.
MF. Okay. Yeah, we'll count that. So that's
A
4.
mnemonic.
That's 4.
Right?
All right.
Bitch?
I think you can say bitch
You
on
can say
the
bitch
air.
now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Especially if you have a dog.
There you go.
Yeah.
How about
And
No,
that's
no,
the worst.
can't say that.
That's the worst word in the
Now
world.
you'll be getting mail.
That's right.
It won't be. It,
won't
won't be
be-
how's Juan-Juan now.
Yeah, there won't be exploding hearts. It'll be something else. Wow. Really? Out of the envelope there.
I'm out of ideas.
I was going to say, how about
Oh, yeah.
I think that is another one. Yeah.
Okay, write that down, please. Put a stop sign. Sounds good.
Yeah.
Okay. How many is that? 8?
I think that's 6.
6.
We're missing one.
Missing 1.
I don't know.
It seems
I
between
forget-
the 3 of us. we
Is it
should
a
know
body
it.
part?
Is it a body?
It'll probably be used sometime before the night's over.
Oh, you know what it is? Do you know what it is?
I can't think about the top of my head.
You could probably say ass. Can you say
I
hole?
think it is.
I think it's ass. Okay. If we
I didn't
decide-
write them all down.
Well,
I'm
I
just
suppose
marking
if
some
the
time.
Okay.
if the ass fell in a hole,
That's right.
Then
yeah,
you could
you
say
could.
that.
Right. If the donkey tripped and, Anyway. All right.
or is the jackass hole? See?
Yeah. Well, maybe.
Depends
you
on
know.
how
Now,
you say it.
now I'm confused.
Well, there you go. That's I'm saying 2 hours easy with that all of those. Okay. That was all funny, hopefully. So Jeff Lawrence, thank you for stopping by.
Well, thanks for having
Yeah,
me
Jeff.
here.
Okay. Thank you for chopping up the show every week. as
And I
do.
got another nice plan here, and I can see it's going to be taking me quite a while to do this.
Okay.
So
That's good.
You have to bill us extra, Jeff.
Don't say that. One, please.
Good to see you, as always.
Thanks a
good
lot.
to see you. Thanks for having me. and,
The very
you know,
famous Jeff
Oh,
Lawrence.
he's so
Yeah.
famous.
Enjoy the show.
I will.
Okay, we will try. Thank you. There we go.
Hello, everybody.
All right.
It's Jeff Lawrence.
Hey, can you give us your patter? Give us a little patter. Take us out with some of your patter.
Take us out with some of the patter.
Yeah,
Nobody
yeah.
does patter anymore.
Oh, okay, well, see.
That's like
I'm
50 years ago.
Okay, but let's hear it. It'll be nostalgic.
I can't remember 50 years
Okay.
ago.
All right.
I worked at BCN. A lot of those brain
Oh,
cells
that's
are gone.
right. They're gone. That's true. Okay. All right. Well, just
You
take
worked
us
there
out.
when it was Beethoven, weren't you?
During the day.
Yeah.
At night, they weren't.
Yeah.
Progressive rock
remember
and roll.
that.
It was
I know.
Yeah,
progressive
yeah.
rock and roll.
Hey, look.
And who do they get?
I'm
who
69.
bought them?
I'm
Like
hip to it.
CBS or someone finally bought them there a few years ago.
Infinity had their Infinity for a
Okay.
while. CBS had them. Mm-hmm. They've changed around with everybody else.
And did
And then Entercom just bought CBS.
did they
Well,
really?
it's emerging. It's a
Oh,
merge.
they're
merging,
yeah.
right.
There's no money actually changing hands
Okay.
here because then you get the government involved and
Yeah, right,
you
right.
can't-
Oh, is that how you do it? You say it's a merge instead
well,
of an
you
acquisition?
know taxes. You know what the taxes would be on something
Yeah,
like
I
that?
know.
Ooh.
Huge. Yeah. I'll bet.
Ooh.
What about the market concentration for that?
Well, that's why they've got to dump some radio stations.
Yeah.
There's 5 markets at the between the Entercom and CBS. There's 5 markets in the country. They've got to get rid of radio stations.
Oh, right. Okay. All right. And so, whoop, there's them calling now.
Oh,
Maybe
see?
there's one for sale.
They know the word that was missing.
Just one last question. When these big companies buy these kind of cool radio stations, and once again in Boston, BCN was like the go-to station because it was crazy. It had a lot of good music and
It was, yeah.
personalities
Yeah,
and stuff.
it was.
But when the companies take it over, isn't it? isn't it inevitable that it's
Well, BCN's been gone for a few years
Yeah,
now.
right.
But, usually when corporate gets their hands on things, there's no creativity because they don't want to pay anybody to be creative.
Yeah,
so
right.
They just bring in line of card readers and then wonder why nobody's listening to the radio station.
Right,
So,
right. And didn't you tell me once that there's a lot of times you'll listen to a radio station and there'll be a person, let's say Mel Miller, and there's really like 2 or 3 Mel Millers, right?
Yeah, there was 2 or 3 Dan Donovans at MEX.
Donovans, yeah.
And MEX was known for doing that.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. And it's for no legal reason. It's just the fact that they don't want to change the stationery, right?
Well, they had these what they call like jock shouts and they didn't want to buy new ones.
Yeah, right.
So they just say you're going to be Melvin X Melvin.
There you go.
Melvin X. I think J.J. Jeffrey was a Melvin X Melvin for a while. Yeah,
this is a good title for a book.
Yeah.
I was a Melvin X Melvin by J.J. Jeffrey.
Yeah, there was a Fenway. I mean, they had all these things already done up, and why create more work?
Yeah, right. Yeah,
unlike you guys.
Yeah. Well, we're just trying to keep you on your feet, there, Jeff.
I appreciate it. Thank you. Yeah.
Then they had those guys on the charts that were available at the record stores, like the top 40.
Oh yeah,
charts
the music surveys.
The music surveys and little bios in each guy.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah,
it's
a lot
like
of it was
in the
made
racing
up.
farm. If you're
a lot of it was made up bios, though. That wasn't really,
Yeah,
they made those up. What a surprise!
I thought they were real.
So Arnie Ginsberg wasn't on the moon at one point.
He didn't really have a horn with him.
He where the horn?
No, he had the bell, but he didn't have the horn. No, he actually had. He had the horn. People sent him all kinds of stuff. I was talking to him. I've known Arnie for a long time. And people would send him these things.
Yeah.
Duck calls and all kinds of weird stuff.
Yeah. Once again, who could you? It was you can't say Arnie Ginsberg was like Wolfman Jack, but he was like a personality in the New England area. Everyone knew who he was.
Everybody knew Arnie Ginsberg. Oh yeah.
And he was, it seemed like he'd be the one that would break the new songs. His show seemed to be the number one show at MX.
Yeah, usually the night jock is the guy that breaks all the music.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and a lot of
that's
Beatles,
when the younger kids listen.
Yeah, a lot of Beatles songs I heard first time on his show. So.
Yep.
Anyway, wow, this is the Boston.
And then he was followed by Jerry Williams' talk show, wasn't
he?
Yeah,
right.
Yeah. The dean of talkmasters. Yeah.
And you wake
then
up
when the signal would fall off the table at dusk, I'd listen to Joey Reynolds on
ABC in New York.
Yeah.
Wow, yeah.
You should talk to Peter sometime because he just ran into Joey Reynolds up in Maine.
Really? Yeah.
Yeah.
Was it a car accident?
No. It was at a bar, as a matter of fact.
Oh, really? Okay. There you go. It's better than a collision.
Yeah.
It is. So, well, hey, Jeff, thank you very much once again.
Thanks for having me, guys.
And, come back anytime. All right? You're welcome any Tuesday night because we usually have beer here.
I noticed that.
Only for drinking.
I know, but I was also told that you didn't have enough for me tonight. So, so that's why I'm leaving.
I don't remember. Okay.
Sorry.
I'll leave him laughing. All right. Yeah. Jeff, thanks a lot. And we'll try to make your work a little easier after this.
A little less complicated?
Yes.
Because, I'm going crazy here.
Yeah, well, who was So why don't we take an end now? Oh, you were going to take us out. Take us out there.
Oh, I said they don't do patter anymore.
Well, you can take us out, though, can't you?
I don't know what your usual out cue is anyway.
Make it up. Say we'll be right back. And we're going to take a commercial break.
All right,
now.
tell me what to say and I'll say it.
We're going to take a...
We're going to take a...
Why don't we take a commercial break now?
Why don't we take a commercial break right now?
And we'll be right back after this.
We'll be right back after...
With another exciting segment.
With another exciting segment.
You're
listening to...
That's
perfect. Mack Maloney's military
X-Files shows
on
Distant Thunder Radio Network.
All right. Okay.
Wow.
You might want to edit that one too, my friend.
Now there's air talent par excellence right there.
Right. Yeah, see, the thing is, you can.
He says it.
Well, it's a lot of years of smoking for this.
There you go. Oh, right. Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, really. Can you deduct the cigarettes from your taxes?
No, I'm not supposed to let anybody know I was smoking those things.
All right. Don't worry. No one's listening.
Okay.
So, why don't we take the aforementioned ad, and we'll be right back after this. Stay tuned.
After the events of 9/11, we thought America would never be the same. Our homeland was attacked. Our fellow Americans killed by terrorists. It seemed like all hope was lost. Until a special group of patriots came together and defied the Pentagon and vowed to take revenge, but in their own way. They took the battle to the terrorists' doorstep, turning the tables on the murderers, fighting with no rules, taking no prisoners, until they became terrorists themselves. This is the story of the Superhawks, soldiers so secret even the president didn't know they existed. Their mission was to kill bin Laden, but they wound up saving the world. Superhawks, a new series for Kindles and Nooks by Mack Maloney, available on Amazon.com.
Daddy, where do babies come from?
Honey?
Mommy went to the store.
Oh, well, you see, there's a mommy and a daddy, right?
Right.
And see, when they call Geico, they could save a bunch of money on car insurance.
Oh, really? And that makes them happy?
Yes, that makes them very happy.
That's good.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad we could have this talk, Sunshine.
Geico, because saving 15% or more on car insurance is always a great answer.
Hi, I'm Arnold Schwarzenegger, and you're listening to Mack Maloney's Military X-Files show on Distant Thunder Radio Network.
Welcome back, everyone, to Mack Maloney's Military X-Files show here on the Distant Thunder Radio Network. In the studio with us tonight, the very famous Juan-Juan is here 16 weeks in a row.
You got it. And if anybody had the money on number 16,
you won.
They won something somewhere.
I just think it's amazing because, as we've said, all of the weeks that we mentioned this in the past, last time you missed a show, snow was on the ground.
Right.
And maybe the next time you miss a show, snow will be on the ground. Maybe there's a pattern.
I mean, I like coming down here. Let's face it. It's just a wonderful studio.
Mm-hmm.
It's not overly ostentatious, just mildly ostentatious.
No.
And it's much better than being in the bunker.
Oh, yes. Yep. Right. Didn't the cats take over the bunker or something?
Yeah, they did. The cats were trying to get in the bunker, and one of them was, I have a little dog and is running around with my underwear and stuff.
Oh, wow. Oh,
yeah.
If
I drop anything, she's grabbing it.
Was that the dog that was on the show that was talking?
No, that
was
not Gumdrops. No, this is one of my own dogs.
One of his own dogs. What's his name? Milky Way?
Sadie.
Sadie, as in Sadie masochism?
Yeah, Sadie.
Wow, interesting. Anyway.
She likes playing with laundry.
Now he's showing me a picture. Oh, my God. Yeah, those are mean dogs. It's one of those little hot dog dogs.
It's a dachshund. Yeah. Come on.
I've had dachshunds, have it out for me.
Oh, come on.
I can tell you a story about a dog in Albany named Peanut who, terrorized me for weeks. Anyway, we'll have Jeff cut that out, too. Stepping all over his own introduction, probably for the 16th week in a row, Commander Cobra is here at a undisclosed location.
Good evening, gentlemen.
Okay. I don't say this often, but can you turn your volume up a little bit there, Commander?
Let's see what I can do.
The mic level.
Give me a second.
Those are words to his ears. I know that. Right. And
we haven't suited Commander Cobra yet today.
No.
So.
Right.
Testing 1, 2. Any better?
Yep.
Maybe we can do something here. Okay. And also on the line, one of our favorite guests as well as one of our favorite people, Barbara Worth,
Barbara what? With.
What did I say?
Worth.
Oh, no. Did I really? Who's Barbara Worth?
Barbara With.
Okay. Barbara With. I was so flustered by her aura that I said the wrong word. Hello, Barbara. Will you forgive me for that?
Hello, boys. Of course.
Really?
Of course.
Okay.
It's a common mistake.
With or without punishment?
Listen to that voice. The board is melting already.
I know.
My goodness, the lights are all popping out.
You're, oh, boy.
Here we go.
Yeah, here we go.
We're off to a rousing start.
Jeff already it's going to take him a week to do what we've already done. I don't want to give him any more work. Okay. Oh, I see he is kind of eyeing up a yacht for sale at some point. He told me off there.
Is he?
So, yeah. Not so much business he makes from us. Anyway, Bob, are you out in Wisconsin?
I am in Lake Superior, in fact, yes.
Okay. Is that not on your little island there? Or?
Yes, it is.
You're on the island with no bar, right?
Oh, no, we have bars.
Oh, well, okay. All right. Maybe we just tell people that.
It's just burned down, that's all.
Yeah, burned down.
Burned down. But there's a couple other ones, too, so don't worry.
Okay. Did they ever discover, Barbara lives on an island up in one of the Great Lakes, Lake Superior. Small island, how much? 250 people or so live on the island?
About that.
All right.
In the winter.
Okay.
In the winter. In the summer, it swells to maybe 3,000. But these years, there's been so many people.
Mm-hmm. It's a drag, right?
There's no danger of the island capsizing or anything, is there?
Sinking, anything along those lines?
No, I don't think so.
Who's that?
That's excellent. Juan-Juan getting his congressional possibilities of being a congressman out there. Beautiful.
You got it, Cobra. You got it.
He ran for president in the surprise party last year. Almost, he came in third, didn't you? Anyway, so Barbara, you're up there in your little island. Cobra is in an undisclosed location. Juan-Juan is
South
here
of
for the
your
16th.
position. That's correct.
Anyway, so why don't we tell people what the show is about tonight? Okay. First of all, I have to do this.
They've been trying to figure it out for weeks, but please tell us.
Spent a little money on this. Juan-Juan, very quickly, as you know, not only am I a very famous writer, I'm a very famous musician. Right?
I know.
And once a week or so, I go down to the hood and I talk with the brothers, about things of musical interest.
You go down the subways?
No, I don't go on the subways.
Okay.
I have a car bring me down to the hood.
Okay.
The hood. Anyway, so some friends
Is that
of
where
mine,
they make the milk, that hood?
Yes, it is.
Is that what you're talking about?
Exactly
Yeah,
right.
okay.
In your world, Cobra, yes.
Well, I'm glad you have a car because there's no train in Newburyport.
No,
for
that's
months.
right. Yeah, I'd be stuck in Salem. Who wants that?
Drive by and says no trains.
Yeah, I know. On the highway, there are signs saying no trains.
I know.
Okay.
in Groveland.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Maybe put it outside the parking lot to the train station to start.
But they have to add something in the bottom that says you have to drive to Beverly to get the train.
If you're on the highway, what do you care about the train for? You know. Anyway, so my friends down there bestowed upon us our own rap names. I said, what would our rap name be? Okay, so here they go. I just got to do this.
Okay.
Right? My rap name would be Def Macky Mac. Not bad.
What?
Right? Def Macky
Def
Mac.
Mac. That sounds
Def,
corny.
D-E-F.
That almost sounds like a brand name.
Def
like,
Macky
you know,
Mac. Exactly.
That could go to like all kinds of. That'd make a really
That
nice
doesn't
drink.
sound
The Def
rappy
Macky
enough.
Mac.
Def Macky Mac doesn't
No.
sound rappy enough
No.
to you? Wow.
It sounds like
Is
Mocky
it
Mark.
death or deaf?
Def.
D-E-F.
Def.
Oh, D-E-F. Okay.
Def.
You know, like Def Jam and
Okay.
stuff.
Well, maybe you won't like
No,
your name
I'm
then.
completely familiar. I'm sorry. I don't need to be lectured
what's
by the
m- what's my
congressman who's
name?
worried about Lake Superior flipping over an island.
Okay.
Let's just back down from that. Okay?
Right. What he just said. Thank you. Juan-Juan, your rep name is
All right.
J Jazzy Swoop.
I like that.
Yeah, it's
That's
excellent.
cool.
Where's my, what happened?
J Jazzy Swoop.
Hang on.
I'm on board with that one.
Well deserved.
I'm off to my T-shirt vendor now.
Is Pistol Pete isn't here. He's gone in his limo.
He had his hands over his ears a little while
Did
ago.
he really? Yeah. Oh, he's taking the limo from the parking lot to the restaurant across the street. That's class, baby. Pete's rap name is, I like this one the best, Slick Pete, a.k.a. Crazy Top. Yeah, right?
Yeah.
Now, here's the strange thing. So I said, okay, Command the Cobra. And they said, well, what's Commander? I says, well, that's his name on the show. Well, it's not a first name, whatever. So this is what they came up with. Ready?
Okay. Yeah.
Coco.
Coco.
Coco. C-O-C-O.
C-O-C-O-C-O. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Coco.
For Commander Cobra. Coco.
Barbara,
Okay.
See what happened there? I said it right the second time by mistake.
No relation to Coco Chanel or anything, right?
Barbara, I
don't
wish
think so.
that I knew. I wish that I had given them your name because we'd be interested in what your rap name.
I
Do you
think
have
we
a
should
rap
ask
name?
Barbara what her rap name already is.
What is your rap name? You probably have
I
several.
don't know if I can. I don't know if I can say it on the air.
Say it. Jeff is
there you
already.
go.
Yeah.
He's in for several hours.
Mystery.
We'll be the judge of that, Barbara.
Oh yeah. No, I think I best not.
please.
It's actually my former CB name.
Oh, you
Remember
mean
CBs?
Yeah,
CDs?
sure. Breaker 19.
Oh,
Breaker
those.
19.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
I had a pretty.
You got the JJ
So
here.
your handle.
My handle was pretty controversial.
Well, say it. Come on.
Say it, Barbara. We'll edit it out if
Yeah,
it's
well,
bad.
let it out if it's bad. Exactly.
Okay, I was the babbling beaver.
Now that's going to stay in because there's
BB.
nothing wrong with that.
But
BB.
I guess so.
I've changed it since then for the upcoming tour because we're
Okay.
going to have CBs on the tour.
Oh,
So,
really? Yeah. Okay.
Just in my older age, I felt it wasn't quite as appropriate. But
Yeah.
whoever sees you, except the people you know in the car with the CB that you're talking into. So
Right,
you
yeah.
have to-
That's right.
Huh.
Now
Okay.
I'm Rocket Girl, so
Rocket Girl?
not quite as exciting,
I
but
like that.
Yeah.
Racket, like a racket. Yeah. Okay, racket girl. I like that.
So you still do CB stuff while you're driving and things like that?
apparently, Fred,
it's
one of the
making a-
band members, has
making a
all the
comeback.
old CDs, all the old CBs.
Mhm.
So he's going to bring them with.
Yeah,
Yeah,
right.
it's actually making a comeback. There's a lot of
It's
people
really?
that are using it on the roads now.
I used to have them.
Yeah.
I had one that had an illegal power amplifier and a little
Really?
illegal
Oh,
kicker.
Very
Yeah.
cool. You were a real JD.
I was, shattering windows as I drove by.
Yeah, really. Oh, in your
Jay
car, you mean?
Jazzy Swoop.
Oh, that's, yeah.
Jay Jazzy Swoop right
Yeah.
there, man.
Jay Jazzy Swoop.
Jazzy Swoop.
Key
The
and I
windows are
key that
breaking before
microphone,
he
all of a
rolls in.
sudden,
We were
woo!
in traffic yesterday, and our car was shaking because of the music going on in the guy's truck in front of us.
That's happened
Just-
to me. Yeah, it's great.
Yeah, I like that, though. Anyway, we're talking about handles on CBs. I don't know why this question came to me. You know how that people have sex on the telephone?
Yeah.
Sex on the computer,
Yep.
so on. Ever any sex that you've heard about there, Barbara? Sex on the CB, kind of.
I will report back if when I'm on the road,
Mm-hmm.
I can tune into some sex on the CB.
Really? So it does
definitely will.
happen. It does. Is it certain channels or something where you can go on a certain channel and talk dirty?
I don't know. I mean, I've never done it.
Okay.
Not on my CB.
If that's your story, stick to it, honey. Except on your what? Your CD?
She said not on the CB.
Oh, not on the CB. Okay.
No, I don't do it on the CB. I
Maybe
may
some
do it
other
on
medium, but not on the CB.
Medium.
How about radio? Hey, it
Apparently.
was there. Someone had to ask the question.
There you go, Mike.
Yeah.
So anyway, well, this is what we're going to talk about tonight. We talked about it a little bit last week, or our last live show, and this is the thumbnail story. There's a thing called a huge cloud of asteroids and like little planets and space junk way out beyond the orbit of the planet Neptune. It's called the Kuiper Belt, and there's like millions of these just, asteroids and just space rocks and all that stuff kind of,
Right.
floating around up
And who
there.
cares about that stuff?
Right. So what they did, though, because there's always been this kind of rumor in the scientific community that there's another planet out there, though I don't understand how the Hubble can see galaxies billions of light years away, but you can't find a planet. So they finally turned the Hubble out to the Kuiper Belt because they noticed that all the objects, if you're in a uniform line, you're all going to be pointing to the sun because that's the center of gravity. But some of them out there were pointing to something else. So they looked and they discovered, through various observations, so on and so forth, that there's a huge mass out there that's at least the size of a planet. Okay, now this is last year, and some people dubbed it Planet X. We found the type thing. Okay, so they take all the data, and then the Hubble, goes and looks at something else, and then they turn the Hubble back there almost a year later, little more than a year later, to look out there just to kind of confirm the data that they got a year before. How scientists got to do, things 17 times and,
Yeah.
everything
Right.
has to check out. They point the Hubble back out there and they find another object out there, another massive object that was not there a year ago. Not there a year
Just
ago.
kind of hanging out beside this other planet.
And had arrived sometime in the last 12 months.
Just showed up.
Showed up. And this is Planet Z. And no one knows. This is all just, in the past week and a half or so. Some scientists are going to give a paper sometime, I think in August, at, like California, what's that place out there that does all the work for the Pasadena, I forget, what is it? Livermore Labs.
Yeah,
Livermore
Livermore, yeah.
Labs, okay? They're going
Mrs.
to...
JJ
Yeah.
used to work there.
Oh, really? Yeah?
part-time.
Wow,
when
that's
we were
high
out there.
security.
I
Oof.
know.
And they're going to give a paper on this and talk about what it is, but there are more than a few people in there in the scientific world and also other worlds who are saying that this might be something that is of alien construction. Because how could it possibly show up there a year later? I mean, in a year. Planets get into orbits. It takes them millions and millions of years. It can't be a planet.
So it has to be some kind of moving object that can be anywhere.
Right. So anyway,
under some kind of motor control or
something.
gravitational thing.
They don't know, but there's a good chance not a good chance, but there's a chance, a better chance than you would say of something that was discovered 20 years ago. But now, because they have, very accurate telescopes or more accurate telescopes, and they can tell how things, just the way things spin, if something's attracting them. This second thing is out there. They don't know what it is. It's huge.
Is it around the same size as the
around
other
the
one?
same size, and
So it can't be some kind of visual echo or something.
No,
like that.
no. It's at least the size of Mars.
Mm.
Okay, so it's the Death Star times 1,000 or something. So anyway, we wanted to find out more about it. So
how do we do that?
We've contacted Barbara With, who knows a very smart person. Is in contact with him all the time. His name is Albert Einstein.
Oh yeah.
Right. Now, first, Barbara, what do you think about this? You have any theories on what's going on out there?
Well, I read a little bit about it. I think the New York Post put out an article that said Death Star headed towards Earth. One of those snazzy headlines.
I think one of the UK papers did that too.
There you go. Of course.
Yeah.
They had a video of it coming down.
But when I you first posed this, and then so I did the thing where I go to Einstein, and the first answer I got was that he was a little evasive. Let me put it this way, because he was saying that a lot of times theories in physics can be presented, and then it takes years.
Yes.
To determine if that's true.
Right.
So I was like, okay, yeah, I get that, but they're going to want an answer, okay?
Yes.
I can't just, wow them with my cleavage there. I need to have
There you go.
an
Hold
answer.
on. Wait a minute.
All right. How much time into the break?
She's going right to the brink for us, Juan-Juan.
Oh, man.
Barbara, thank you very much.
Well, listen, I've
loyalty.
been watching the series on Einstein, Genius.
Yes.
Done by Ron Howard.
Yes. Opie. Go ahead.
It was.
Is it good?
It's excellent, and he was a huge womanizer.
Wow.
He had many, many, many women. In
Einstein
fact, he had
did?
a deal with his wife, his second wife, Elsa.
Wow. What was the deal?
He could fool around.
Check out Heavenly Bodies.
There you go. Wow. Who knew he was a dog? Einstein was a dog.
Yeah.
I thought Elsa was his
So
cousin.
many guys call their dog
Whoa,
Einstein.
wait a minute. He was married to his cousin?
Yes.
He was a southern
And
dog.
he was married to his first wife, Meleva Marek, and he fell in love with his cousin.
Well,
So he moved his wife and his children to Berlin to be near his cousin.
wow. Okay.
So he had some issues when it came to.
Really?
But but it also depicted very well how he did his thought experiments and why he was such genius.
So he's the Jerry Lee Lewis of physics then, Juan-Juan, right?
Great ball
Well,
of fire.
I like Cobra's remark about lots of dogs are named Einstein for that reason.
There you go.
I never put two and two together there.
No. You
Yeah,
have to
so-
see all.
Now,
like
isn't that
Cobra
funny?
does. Sure
So-
it is.
It's
It took
hilarious.
him 2 volumes to prove that 2 + 2 was equal to 4.
All right. Please.
Where were we?
Barbara, where were we?
So then the week went on, and I asked him again. It's like, is this some wild and crazy? I mean, is it some, like I was thinking it was, like you were saying, maybe it's a UFO.
Yes.
But I was thinking maybe it's another universe, something of another universe that's infiltrating ours in a way that is beyond what we understand.
Right.
So-
But it just seems odd, and I'm sure that Albie would agree. What was his nickname? Do you have a nickname, that guy? Albert Einstein? Did people call him Albie? Or
People
Al?
call him Albert, but
Al?
I call him Al.
Al, really? Yeah, you call me Al. Paul Simon, right?
There's a music bed for Jeff.
There you go. Yeah, there you go. For this thing to show up, this is what is kind of freaking everyone out, is that this thing wasn't out there this time last year, but now it is. And so whatever this is, it's massive, and it just doesn't, whatever it is, it's going to be something new to us. And it also makes you think, well, maybe the first one is just one of these things too, you know what I mean? Instead of a planet and then all of a sudden this big alien structure. And then remember, 6 or 7 months ago, we talked about the Hercules constellation, where there's a star in the Hercules constellation that scientists see like a shadow go across the star every once in a while. And they said that it's not a planet. It's actually bigger than a planet, and it's in an orbit that, something that big shouldn't be there, and that's what started these ideas that maybe it was an alien superstructure. It's funny to be talking about it, but there were scientists talking about the same thing, and now there's some people talking about this thing actually being one of these alien superstructures, which would be wild. It'd be great. I mean, just as long as they're not coming here to
I'd love it if it was real.
Attack us.
If they're coming here for like a snack.
Yeah,
right. If it's coming for a snack, not so good, But if
you don't think if that was it that we'd hear about it?
Well, the cat's out of the bag now, though they really dampened down that Hercules constellation. Remember, it was like the next day it said, some Russian guy said, radio signals get in way.
You're listening to Love Advice with Leanne. Caller, you're on the air.
Hi, Leanne. Longtime listener, first-time caller. Why, in your professional opinion, do you never take my calls off the air?
Is this Carl?
Yep, it's Carl. I mean, we had a few dates. Everything was great. I thought,
Well, when you switch to Geico, you could save a lot of money on car insurance.
Okay, awesome.
You should call them.
I will.
Geico, because saving 15% or more on car insurance is always a great answer.
Or something, and that was their explanation,
Right.
But a lot of people now, have this, thing in their sites, and for people to do scientific papers, that means they've done a lot of research and so on, and, it has to go through that thing called peer study.
Peer review.
Peer review, right. So, people have to read it, agree with it, it goes to the next step, and so on and so forth.
It's got to be fact-checked. And
but if they come out and they say, we don't know what this thing is, it'll be wild, man. It'll be wild, just as long as it doesn't any detriment to
It'd be really great if that's what it is, because right now... And when's the next probe or the next...
Excuse me, hang on. That's that secret word of the week.
Next.
You do that.
The next mission to uncover more data.
Yeah, they're sending a new one to... There's two that are going out. I forget the name of the one that's going out towards past Saturn again, and maybe land on one of Jupiter's moons, something kind of cool like that. Mm-hmm. But there's also a new Hubble going up that they're going to be able to look at certain planets and detect carbon dioxide and carbon monoxide and stuff in the atmosphere, things that would be the result of some kind of civilization. Mm-hmm. I think that's the James Webb telescope. It's going up in a couple of years.
Maybe a couple of turds on the planet.
The James Webb scope. It launches in October of 2018.
Okay, so next year. Now, if that finds anything, if that all of a sudden, basically they're looking for smog coming out of smokestacks or something. If they find something, then, and if you find one, you're going to find millions.
Porta Johnnies out there.
But, okay, what do the scientists say are the result of, say, Mary Joyce, who was on your show a few weeks ago?
Yes.
And talked about the railroad tracks on the moon and or on Mars and the metallic looking. What do scientists say that is?
Well, I don't know. I don't think there's people at Livermore Labs basically, looking into that. But they're, the people who at least have time on the Hubble telescope. You got to be up in the food chain of the, astronomers' world, I'm assuming, right? To get time on that thing. So they must be, let's say, a little more serious in what they do. So that really did look like a railroad track on Mars.
Maybe if they see a train on it, maybe they'll look at it.
Train. Like I say, it'll be an MBTA train,
That's right.
Stopping for directions. This is the Boston show.
The Newburyport train. It's not here.
Yeah. There are no trains.
No trains. Big sign at the gate. No trains.
You can't get to Mars from here.
They're doing it to fix a bridge that was built during the Revolutionary War.
I know.
That's the
I was talking to a guy down there recently. He said, "So where's the train?" Because I didn't know what was happening.
It's waiting for Grant to give his final
Just curious. No cars in the parking lot. I was wondering what the heck was going on.
Waiting for Thomas Jefferson to park.
Yes, an ancient bridge.
Everyone always just thinks, it's just they're just late again, like 3 weeks. Anyway, this is the Boston show. You got to, if you know about Boston.
You got to come up here to appreciate it.
That's right.
You really do.
So, Babs, so you were bugging Albert, okay? And did he ever come to any kind of final thing to tell us?
Well, he kind of did. He was talking about what the possibility of what you were talking about.
Yes.
That this is a body that was not. It's not a. I don't know what the word would be. Natural,
it's not celestial.
Asteroid or a planet. Yes, that it was, and it's not man-made.
Mm-hmm. It's artificial.
It could very well. it could very well be constructed from, a UFO that's constructed with materials that react differently to light.
Yep.
Which is why it's difficult to pick up.
Yep. Yeah. Because they have things even now.
So this is your theory, or is this Albert's theory?
Yep.
This is what Al said.
Okay. All right.
Let me ask you a question. When you contact Albert for these like off the cuff musings,
we should explain to people that if they haven't heard Barbara before, she has the ability to talk to people, famous people from beyond.
Right.
Communicate with them
from beyond the grave.
Maybe Barbara could share her website with our listeners.
What's your
Party
website?
of 12. Partyof12.com will get you to my Albert Einstein website.
Okay.
But BarbaraWith.com, WITH, will get you to all of me.
And if you have any kind of not nice news, we want you to send it to BarbaraWorth.com, the other person that Mac always talks about.
Okay, cool.
Right.
Critical or want to ask me out, please go to BarbaraWorth.com. Yes.
One more question, Barbara, before we get off track completely. Is when you contact Albert.
Would these be the tracks on Mars that you're referring to?
That's right. When you contact Albert, does he ever put you on hold because another psychic is talking to him?
There you go. What a question.
Because he does have a reputation that was discussed.
I know it.
Well,
He's like he's a promiscuous.
He hits the wall fields. Is what we should
you have to get in line. Is there a waiting room?
Or does he put them on hold
to talk to you?
Is that more like
That's what
it?
I'm thinking.
Okay.
I think he's fairly fond of me.
Yes. Why? Give us clues. Tell us why.
Because when he first started talking through me and I started channeling, and he told me and my associates, Kim and Teresa, that he had a theory that he wanted to test about changing a kind of a revolutionary new worldview of the human.
Okay.
And so and how to resolve conflict.
Yes.
That was his big thing. And so he needed some people to test out his theory.
Yes.
And we did it for him and
Yes.
proved that his theory was correct.
Okay.
So I think that it kind of endeared me to him.
Okay.
Of course, writing the books in such in-depth language and representing him.
Right.
That gave him a lot of publicity and street cred.
Like he needed. He got some street cred. There's no doubt about
definitely.
it. Has he ever made a suggestive remark to you from beyond the grave?
Well, I have to say that it's always in good taste.
So,
all right.
Tell us.
He's just very fond of me.
But we want tuna that tastes good.
You know,
wait a minute. What does that mean?
Like that one.
But just give us the flavor of what he said to you that made you feel that he was, coming on to you a little bit.
I think it's just a little flirtatious tone, perhaps, in how he delivers some information.
Mm-hmm.
It's
in that sexy Austrian accent of his. That's what you're saying.
And his.
What happened?
Wow, what happened? Einstein.
He was with me all the time.
Huh.
Yeah.
It's just the way he says E equals M squared.
It's like.
Hey, Barbara, you're breaking up just a little bit.
I think Einstein.
I think we missed a key sentence there along the way. Just your last. Yeah, rewind the tape
he said,
back
you
about
said,
10 seconds.
You told us what he said to you that seemed flirtatious. The quotes, the actual words.
Well, I don't know if I can reach back and think of a specific quote that he's said to me. That
make them up.
Is flirtatious. It's just it's the tone. Make one. Okay, sorry.
The tone.
What am I thinking? I'm not thinking.
It was the emotion of it.
Yes, and the
pull.
playfulness of it, which is how he was anyway.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
He was very playful and teasing and but always very much a gentleman. So I'm sorry, he wasn't,
He could do
hey, baby.
He could do any number of things with gravitational pull. Right.
That's right.
Yes, but I don't think that he has.
Oh, okay.
But he hovered around me constantly.
Oh, really? Yes, all the time?
Him.
All the time? While you were slumbering? While you were in bed?
I was asleep. How would I know?
Really? He was in bed with you spiritually? Huh? Why is she breaking up again?
I don't know. Every time she gets down to the details, it starts breaking up.
Please.
Oh, dear.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, no, I was asleep.
Yes. Go ahead. And he climbed in bed with you
That's all you need to
spiritually?
know.
He climbed in bed with her spiritually, Juan-Juan.
Probably.
I'm hearing this.
Wow.
It's
incredible. Marilyn Monroe always wanted to do him.
Wow. Here's your headline, baby.
He publicly admitted it.
Well, is she going after him now since they're both in the afterlife?
I think they've probably had time to.
I'll tell you, man, that hair, it's the hair. The
Yeah,
chicks like the hair. You know, they go, look at this guy with the hair.
He looks like a Greenwich Village poet.
Exactly, right.
For open mic night.
Right.
And,
yep.
Jeff Ein.
Yeah.
Jeff Ein.
Yeah. So.
Barbara, I hate to say this, but our time has come to an end.
Yep.
Well, there you go. There was the analysis of the Planet Z.
Planet Z. You'll join us again soon when we find out what the results of this scientific paper people are going to be presenting.
Yes, sir.
You'll come back and comment on it?
Of course, anytime.
Okay. When we find out, we'll have an emergency show. You better be available at short notice, okay?
Do you have anything coming up? Are you appearing
Okay,
anywhere?
I'll
Are you appearing anywhere? Are you disappearing anywhere?
Hello?
a little music.
She's going to be on the road.
I think it
in
sounds
August.
like someone's just.
I'll be on the road for weeks.
Wow.
She's going to be on the road
Singing.
for about 6 weeks
There you
singing.
go. All right, you can talk alien. This
Here
is
in
excellent, Juan-Juan. Very good. Wow. We can't wait for that. That sounds really great. Thank you, Barbara, for joining us. And we'll talk to you soon, okay? Thank you for brightening up our show.
Always a pleasure.
Okay. See you later. There she goes. Barbara With. Wow.
Floating off into
the
atmosphere.
celestial ocean.
I don't know what happened there.
Thank you very much. Well, obviously, Albert doesn't want her talking about sensitive things.
Albert lowered the bandwidth of the internet connection.
Yeah,
I
he
guess.
did. He can do it. He's up in heaven.
Down
or
to about
someplace.
64K.
Wow. And she was just telling how he jumped in bed with her spiritually. And
So
wow.
that's a tease to a follow-up segment.
Get that right.
Ouch.
What do you think there, Coco? You still with us?
Coco's processing all the data.
Okay.
That's all Coco can say right now.
Okay. Perfect. So why don't we take an ad now?
He's running all that data through the cray that he has
We'll
in
come
his
back. He does have a cray. We will...
a cray-cray.
A cray-cray, yes. It's just like what the kids say. So we'll take an ad now. We'll come back with this semi-special about Planet Z. You're listening to Mack Maloney's Military X-Files show here on the Distant Thunder Radio Network. We'll be right back after this.
UFOs are found in Renaissance art, on ancient coins, and etched on cave walls. They are even reported in the Bible. But more surprising is when UFOs are seen the most, in times of war. Through centuries, thousands of UFO sightings have been made by high-ranking officials, military pilots, and ordinary soldiers. Often, these fantastic appearances occur at the height of great battles. From World War I to D-Day, to Korea, Vietnam, and beyond, military investigators are baffled. Why do UFO sightings spike so drastically during wartime? Could it be mistaken aircraft, or is someone, or something, looking in on us? In UFOs in Wartime, What They Didn't Want You to Know, Mack Maloney chronicles centuries of these incredible sightings and tries to solve the puzzle of why so many UFOs are seen while humanity is at war. Read about the scare ships, the ghost planes, and the ghost rockets, alien giants in the jungles of Vietnam, UFOs controlling our ICBM bases, dogfights with flying saucers during the Gulf War, and more. 300 pages of unbelievable stories, along with many startling photographs. That's UFOs in Wartime, What They Didn't Want You to Know, by Mack Maloney. On sale at your local bookstore or on Amazon.com.
Hi, I'm Christopher Walken, and you're listening to the Mack Maloney Military X-Files show on Distant Thunder Radio Network.
Hey, welcome back, everyone, to Mack Maloney's Military X-Files show here on the Distant Thunder Radio Network. This is Mack Maloney. In the studio with us tonight, 16th week in a row, the very famous Juan-Juan
That's
is
correct.
here.
Breaking records of all time here in the
They
studio.
were all a titter that you are here. 16 weeks in a row.
Yes.
No
I
Patriots
love being
gear.
here, like I said. It's just...
No Patriots gear, but that might be another show. A confessional. Is something gone wrong?
No, absolutely not. I'm just kind of trying to get enthusiastic about the baseball season, but my team is playing like crap.
Baseball's a speed bump on the way to football.
It is, you're right.
The Patriots starting training camp
next
tomorrow.
week.
Oh, next week.
But maybe it's tomorrow. Maybe it's tomorrow.
They've already been picked by Sports Illustrated to have a perfect season.
Right.
I'll tell you.
Right.
You won't believe how many times you will see that in the local media.
Everybody's beyond picking them to be in the playoffs.
Yeah. It's
or
like,
even in the Super Bowl.
It's like how much are they going to win the Super Bowl for? How much will they win it by?
Oh,
and that's bad.
That's a lot of pressure on the team.
It's bad.
It's not good.
It's the worst. You got to have a team that you have to win and say the whole world hates us. Well, they might do it now. The whole world hates us. Let's teach them a lesson, and that's how you get those guys motivated.
Maybe you feel like just losing the first game just to get that talk out of the system.
Don't do that. You don't want to lose the first game.
Just for grins.
Because then they'll say, Brady, he's getting old.
That's what they'll say, and then there'll be no pressure.
And so I could see you can never streaks don't work. Streaks add to the pressure. You're right. You'd rather win 10 in a row, lose one, 9 in a row.
Get the lost game out of the
way,
and then everybody won't be talking about it.
But anyway, that's what they're saying. Sports Illustrated, perfect season.
Yeah,
win the Super Bowl by 45
and shut out the other team
to 0. The over/under was 45. Anyway, I got to quickly tell you the story talking about the odds. Okay, all right. If you go back and remember the first show that we picked, that Lois Lane picked the winners for the free book. Okay, it would have been our first show in June. One of the guys, we were all kind of surprised. It turned out he was from North Reading, Mass., which is kind of near where we broadcast the show.
That's right.
So anyway, the books went out, and he probably doesn't want me to give his name right now, but maybe, his name is Barry Keefe. And I don't know why he wanted to be anonymous. I don't know. So anyway.
What's his address?
Yes, well, his social security number is. Anyway. So he wrote to me and said, I got the free book and so on and so forth. And he said, is there any chance that Phil Yeba is from Everett? Phil Yeba, the UFO comedian. Right?
Yeah.
And I write back to him and I said, yeah, he's from Everett. He goes, I grew up one street over from him. Now,
no kidding.
Think about that for a second.
How's that possible?
Well, the fact that they live close to each other, okay, that's fine. But this guy, he could have been from Walla Walla, Washington.
Well,
for us picking
if you're experienced in Everett, they have a specific, unique accent, don't they?
Do they? Can you do it for us?
I can't do it for you.
Maybe Coco can do it for us.
Sorry, from across the line. Can't do the Everett accent.
This is the Boston show.
I'm from Cambridge, but I lived in Charlestown just on the weekend.
You're just a cosmopolitan man. You're a metrosexual.
Right.
You can do it all. You're sensitive to it all. You're a take charge kind of guy.
Last week he said he ruled Charlestown on the weekends.
That's right.
Okay.
I was right off Bunker Hill. I knew where the action was.
There you go.
Up and down the hill.
Wow.
Right up to the monument.
Yeah, really. Yeah. You mean people would be selling stuff there?
There's a great pizza place up there.
Oh, really? Up on top of the monument? Was it called
not in the
Bunker Pizza?
Monument Pizza. No, it was across the street.
Wow.
Was there a bad word in there that has to
I don't
be
know.
What done?
Don't worry, Jeff's going to be.
I never did make it to the top of the monument.
No.
Yeah, too many stairs.
He's going to be picking out the anchor for his yacht when he gets done working this show.
You climb the top of that monument, all you can see is Chelsea, dude. What's the point?
No, it didn't have an appeal to me. Only maybe on a exercise level. But.
Cobra, you have 2 rim shots a show. I would have put one in there.
What? Because Chelsea wasn't worth his view?
All I said was, all you get to see is Chelsea.
I'm under the advisement of legal counsel not to use my rim shots.
Wow,
so
there you go. I don't think that sentence has ever been spoken ever. Anyway, So, yeah, it's just kind of weird. You know, I mean, he could have been anyone. Pick his name out of the fishbowl.
That's a riot.
Could have been, and he turns out he's next door neighbors and good friends with.
It sounds very much like an inside job conspiracy to me. This is all starting to sound very much like there was like only 1 or 2 names in the fishbowl. The night that the UFO comedian is there.
Cobra, I can certify being an eyewitness to every drawing that there was
there.
like a half a fishbowl full of
well, if you remember correctly, I was there as well for this one in particular. I have photographs of it, if you remember correctly, which I provided.
I
know which one.
I always remember correctly when you're here.
It was Dick Cheese and the Crackers, right? Is that the one you're spouting off about now? That they might not have been a real contestant, Dick Cheese and the Crackers?
That's correct.
We'll have to put some
highly
laughter in there.
questionable
Something.
the authenticity of that entrant.
Well, we can't help it. The fishbowl got hacked.
It seems like a double voting kind of thing going on to me.
No, everything was on the up and up. It was certified by that law firm that certifies all these contests.
He's just talking about teamwork, and then 10 seconds
he's
later,
he's ragging on the bit.
The shiv, gave the bit the shiv.
The shiv.
Thank you, Coco. Anyway, on the phone with us, down in that happy place, Dallas.
If he's still there,
if he's still there, if he hasn't been shot. The American capital of the world, graveyard of beloved presidents.
Indeed.
A note to that too. Rob Beckhausen, War Was Boring, the best military writing on the internet, and Juan-Juan, they are going to be doing a huge story on us very soon.
He is.
Rob
How are y'all doing?
How you doing tonight there, Rob?
Rob, what's happening?
I'm pretty good. I'm drinking my coffee and going to talk about
the cheap coffee.
You're listening to Love Advice with Leanne. Caller, you're on the air.
Hi, Leanne, longtime listener, first-time caller. Why, in your professional opinion, do you never take my calls off the air?
Is this Carl?
Yep, it's Carl. I mean, we had a few dates. Everything was great. I thought,
Well, when you switch to Geico, you could save a lot of money on car insurance.
Okay, awesome.
You should call them.
I will.
Geico, because saving 15% or more on car insurance is always a great answer.
Afternoon coffee
You still get the 100 pounds of coffee at once?
Yeah, I buy some pretty bulk stuff. So
yeah.
Bulk stuff.
Huh.
Yeah.
Wow.
I drink a lot. Drink a lot of coffee. So.
Wow, really? It's not good for you. Not that good for you, man. You put
Why
sugar
not?
in it?
No. I just drink it.
Coffee is like a health food.
Regular straight black coffee.
The freaking caffeine, man. It does a job on me. I know, and I know people that.
Well, if you look at some of the latest studies going back a few years,
yes, go ahead.
Not sponsored by the Coffee Growers Association.
Okay, yes, all right.
It's almost like a health food. I keep printing these articles out. So now, Mrs. JJ,
no, I can understand that. Yeah, I mean, I could because I've read over the years that they can't all be untrue or generated by the coffee industry. That it's good for you. It's
the big one for me is that it would slow or prevent the onset of Alzheimer's. So I like that one.
I like that. That sounds good to me.
It slows down or may prevent the onset of Alzheimer's disease.
Huh. Wow.
Well, there's one thing in the South.
Red Bull do that as well?
Disease out there.
What is
if there was one we could get the cure for it, that has got to be the disease.
That's right.
That is absolutely the most horrible disease you can possibly deal with.
Well,
I would say in the South, by the way, that drinking coffee in the morning is also preferable to drinking Coke, which is
absolutely.
That's a very southern thing.
I drank Coke down in South once, and there were people in the diner that were drinking Coke with their eggs and stuff and grits.
I'll do it every once in a while. It's
just like having a cup of coffee. It's like having an iced coffee.
I tell you where you do it because you have to. It's in Atlanta.
Yeah, but it's also kind of a culture.
Especially if you're an eye shot of the Coca-Cola Museum down there, which is fantastic.
Did they serve grits as just like a regular side there down in Dallas? Grits?
Sure, yeah.
Yeah.
Sure. I love grits.
Me too.
They're named, they get the perfect name because it's like you're eating gritty freaking gravel or something.
Right.
I don't know how
I was going to say.
No, it's really smooth and it's smooth.
Nah. If it's cooked correctly,
it's got to be al dente.
It's not like that.
You're talking about grits?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
You doctor it up with all kinds of neat things.
It doesn't taste like cream of wheat or something like that. It kind of looks like that.
But I like cream of wheat too.
Yeah, me too. So
I was going
to
have an interesting story about Dallas, by the way.
Okay,
real quick.
Cool. Like it does.
What the heck could be interesting about Dallas? Except the Cowboys cheerleaders.
Yeah, I understand that, but it's interesting to me. I don't know if other people would find it interesting, but the city. So this year is the 30th anniversary of RoboCop,
Okay.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Oh,
I've seen
no.
that movie.
Great movie.
It's fantastic.
You know, the Dallas Police Department, they used that robot bomb to take out the cop killer.
Right. Yeah.
Last year.
Yep, I remember that.
What was also interesting about RoboCop is that a lot of people, you know, cinephiles and movie people here have an attachment to that movie because it took place in Detroit, but it was filmed in Dallas.
Really? Yeah.
Yeah, because it was supposed to be this future neo dystopian kind of.
Yeah, but wouldn't Dallas be much more fun as the crummy old Detroit? Imagine things being really crazy in Dallas, people running around. Yeah, but to me, Detroit would be boring.
But the look,
I know. But I could
see the whole thing.
They're trying to make
the
it
look
look
of the city.
Yeah.
It's the buildings and so on. You see them in the background. It's a lot of neon. It's this a lot of these dystopian sci-fi movies and films here. You know, Logan's Run in the 70s, where everybody lives in like a big.
Another great movie.
Yeah.
Great movie.
They once you turn 30, they vaporize you. You know.
Yeah, cool.
You know, it's this. So they're this year I think they're going to be,
celebrations.
Celebrating, and they're going to broadcast the movie projected on the side of City Hall.
Oh, excellent.
There you go.
You know, it's this brutalist concrete building that was used as the corporate headquarters in the movie. So it's going to be very.
There won't be any trouble there.
No, it's a violent movie too.
Now, Rob, will it be confusing to the citizenry when the sound effects, small arms and larger caliber weapons are fired in the movie to what's actually going on? Will that be confusing? Will there be notices, to help people?
Yeah, that's a good question. And also, it's going to be right in downtown, and so there's all these tall buildings, and so the echoing.
I'll tell you,
I think it'll be all right. But
when Adam West died, they had an outdoor vigil for him, and the mayor was there, and
and they put the bat signal up,
and they put the bat signal up on the freaking top of that
Unbelievable.
skyscraper.
Right,
it was fantastic.
It was incredible. It was just, and I said, "Wow, these people are actually doing this. They're actually buying into this thing."
I felt so good about that.
It was incredible. What a way to go, man! That was very cool. Anyway, Rob.
If you want your name in lights, that's the way to get it.
Now, this was the first How many RoboCop movies were there? I know there were at least two because I saw the second one. There's no way as good as the first one. The first one was really good.
I'm a RoboCop guy, so I think there was 4.
Really? Yeah.
See, I think there was a lot of them, and then a lot.
Peter Weller was only in the first 2, correct?
I think you might be right. Yeah, I think he was in the sequel. There were 3 or 4, and then there was a remake.
He was in the first 2, and then he didn't make the last 2. The last 2, I thought, were typical chamois ripoff.
RoboCop Goes to Japan, wasn't that number 4?
RoboCop in Space.
RoboCop in Space was number 3. Yeah. But the first one was really good because does he ever show his face in that movie? I don't think so.
Oh, yeah.
Does he really?
He sure
his face?
Yeah, because he has to get fed the baby food, and she takes the giant. Unscrews the bolt that holds the whole helmet assembly. Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. Boy.
Final note on this, by the way. Dallas just recently hired a new police chief, David Brown, who got a lot of attention after the sniper attack. He retired shortly after that, and they hired a new police chief who is from Detroit.
So the first woman to take the helm in your fair city, isn't it?
Yeah, that's correct.
Well, can I just ask a question here? Because I know I'm the product of a Boston education, so don't expect much, right? But doesn't it make sense? Doesn't it make a lot of nonsense to give the police chief's job of Dallas to someone who's from Detroit? Wouldn't you want someone from Dallas who knows the city to be your police chief?
I would think so, but
that came up.
Didn't the police chief?
There was discussion about whether also you have the police union as well, and so there's internal politics involved. So we're going to hire somebody from outside the city. I can't comment on the internal kind of workings of these police departments.
Did the police chief?
The going theory these days is this is a way to help break corruption and
or it's the money. The police chief from Boston went to L.A., right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And that's Agent X's cousin.
No, really?
Yeah. What's his name? Bratton or something?
Yeah.
Yep. Agent X. Recovering from his shoulder operation, by the way.
Agent X?
He had a scoped shoulder a couple of weeks ago.
Yep.
And I talked to him, and he said all the doctors and all the nurses are just using one term, Miraculous recovery. Yeah, he's lifting weights 3 days after his operation.
That's amazing.
God, that's fantastic.
There you go. Yeah, he'll be jumping off high buildings in a single bound. So. Anyway, so...
It's quite the specimen.
Yes. So, tell us...
So when's that RoboCop celebration? Did it happen already, or is it coming up?
Please.
I think that the celebration's going to be coming up in September, I think, but the anniversary's already passed.
That'll be on YouTube. Boy, I'll tell you.
Peter Weller is going to be there, by
really,
the way.
Yeah?
Fantastic.
Well,
He'll be at the actual
busy,
RoboCop.
Huh? Wow.
It's going to be great.
If you were in a room somewhere and looking down on it, then I think it would be okay. Yeah. But I would not want to be in the crowd, frankly. You know, you never know what's going to happen. These guys, a lot of them have been watching RoboCop for the past 20 years, 24 hours a day. They might think they're RoboCop. No. Spot Daddy.
When my daughters were young, I rented RoboCop and Terminator for one night. And it was a bad move because they're more scared of Terminator than they were of RoboCop.
Yeah, I think RoboCop.
Mrs. Juan-Juan always says, "Remember when
you did that?
Sarah was 3 and Allison was 8.
Yeah,
and you went to.
Yeah, you're not getting the greatest dad T-shirt.
Oh wow, what a thing!
They liked action movies.
There you go. See, Cobra.
I did the same thing with Mike. I got the same complaint.
What's the better movie? Is what I'm thinking.
I like Terminator better.
Yeah.
It scared the hell out of me because it seemed like it could really happen.
Really? Other than a robotic cop?
I thought too far-fetched robotic cop.
With the problem with time travel, I would say that where we are right now, the chances that RoboCop can occur as versus Terminator, I'd say RoboCop is much closer. And the political digs that they threw in there, everybody gets hammered in RoboCop.
Yeah, right.
Lee Iacocca, elementary school, the Star Wars device that went off and killed like 3 retired presidents when it hit Santa Barbara. I mean, it was there's classic crap. They made fun of the news people in that movie exquisitely. Exquisitely.
Yeah, that's what I was saying is because it had a little bit of a, not just sci-fi.
It was like a Bugs Bunny cartoon. There was stuff flying on the sides of that, aside from what was going on in the Central
Park. But they
did
have this kind of little subplot about the corruption and taking aims at everyone.
It's like when the guy says, I don't care if the damn thing works. It's the contracts to the military and supplying it. It doesn't have to work. You know, it's just beautiful. And remember when the little thing, the bipod thing that runs around that was supposed to be the all robot version, it's afraid to get down the stairs.
The Ed 209.
And there you go. And it falls down the stairs and it's crying, and then its little flipper is wiggling. Oh my God, it's classic.
Hold on a second. Can I just say something? I've only seen the movie like maybe twice, and I probably fell asleep during.
Cobra lives the movie.
Cobra, you know every freaking line of the movie. What's going on?
Listen, I told you this before.
He was a technical advisor.
On a ship, and I have a number of years of sea time. When you're an aviator on a ship, when you're not flying and you're not sleeping, you watch movies because there's nothing else really to do.
Okay.
So I took over as movie officer, fairly senior on
Why does that not surprise me?
In the batting order because
we're bros, man.
I just wanted to have something good on. So you see lots of movies over and over again.
We're bros.
Juan-Juan was also the movie supervisor.
When I was waiting for my ship to come back from
his ship, the one that was tied up.
The battleship.
When I come back from the Med, it was tied up in Newport, and I commuted from Chelmsford to Newport, Rhode Island.
If you don't know,
unless I was on duty.
And he was over at the Pussycat Theater in the combat. So that's a different kind of movie.
When I was waiting for the ship, I had to wait. When I was assigned, I had to wait for about a month for it to come back. So they put me in the motion picture projection studio where we lent out all the movies to the fleet.
Wow!
And I'd be there on this machine counting splices, fixing splices, and if it got too many splices,
didn't that allow you to have a career for a short time as a projectionist?
No, wait a minute, hold it. Can I just?
Well, I was in the union then. There was part of it as a projectionist union, but I was trained on it, but I didn't really do it.
I just want to clarify a couple of things. Okay, number one, Newport, Rhode Island, is where the 1% of the 1%ers.
I know.
Okay.
I know.
I mean, they don't even let billionaires in that place. And you were down there, Juan-Juan, protecting those people.
That's right.
It's really good.
I was
showing the movies, keeping the
shore side, away. But I was on the boat.
On the boat.
But the boat was tied up and going to be there for a while.
Yeah, but if there was trouble, who would they call?
Yeah, they called me.
Yeah, there you go.
Me, the ET.
So you were there.
Fixing their stuff.
Right. If the movie projector broke down, you'd be the guy.
When I was waiting for the ship, that's what I was doing. And then we were kicking back when we all caught up on the movies that came back from the fleet, fixing them and getting ready to be re-rented.
As I said before, no Viet Cong ever, got into Newport. Be sure of that.
A mild-mannered projectionist is the last line of defense.
And there was no platter system then. There was, multiple projectors, and one goes off, the other one comes on. We didn't splice about a platter.
Sure this isn't classified material that you're talking about here?
What a gig that was. I was home one time because I commuted every day.
You went home.
Unless I was on duty.
You went home.
I went home like on a Friday.
It's not just a job.
It's an adventure.
It's home. And you can live at home.
Like on a Sunday, we had a freaking blizzard. So
Can I not come into the Navy today? There's a lot of snow. Can we have
I
a
didn't
snow
tell you the
day for
story
the Navy
before.
today?
What happened was I called up and I called my chief, who was our boss. I said, the driving's going to be awful on Monday. I don't think I'm going to make it in.
Wow.
So you might as well put me on report now because that's what's going to happen. I'm not driving.
Yeah.
He says, don't worry about it.
Ooh.
I'll fill out a leave chit. You're on like an emergency leave for one day.
Wow,
and
good guy.
we'll see you when I see you.
Wow.
He lived in the area.
And
it happened twice.
That's me. Got circular filed when you got in, right?
No. The leave thing was in play. I was on leave for that.
Yeah, he didn't charge you though the leave when you got there.
Oh, probably not. No.
That's right. Joe, so
probably not.
No. Listen to this. You're so.
You're probably right. Yeah, you're probably right because I remember always having.
I wrote the book on that. Come on.
It was so great. I would have been.
You're
AWOL.
Probably right, Coco.
Would have been AWOL.
Okay, J Jazzy Swoop.
Hey, we didn't do Rob's. Rob Beckhouse.
Is Rob still on the line?
Yeah. Are you still there? We all were assigned rap names today. That's what we're talking about.
What's Rob's name?
I don't know. I didn't ask the brothers what it is.
Rob Snob.
Yeah, no, it'd be like Robbie Boom. I don't know. Robbie something. Boom back.
Robbie
AKA,
Boom Boom.
Yeah, Robbie Boo Boo, a.k.a. Smart
Boom Boom.
Face or something. Smart Glass.
Robbie AK-47.
Well, I have to think of some of these Houston rap groups and stuff like that. Since that's what everybody listens to around here.
Okay.
Like DJ Screw and
DJ Screw, very famous.
Yeah. Yep. GK, all that.
GK, yeah.
Could be Robbie Cop, since it would be like with RoboCop. Could we go with that for a bit?
There is like this some Chinese knockoff RoboCop toy called Robert Cop.
Really? Do you have one?
People send me pictures of it. Yeah.
How many do you have, and are they still in the boxes?
No, I got a T-shirt though. It's a Robert Cop T-shirt.
Okay.
So.
All right.
It was a gift. Yes. It was a gift.
See, you know what?
To yourself.
Are there ever any any RoboCop conventions?
Oh, they probably lump that in with all the other
really?
sci-fi conventions. Yeah. I don't think the fan base is quite that large or dedicated.
But if you wore the shirt to a RoboCop convention, you would have someone doing your dishes, my friend.
Oh, yeah.
I would have liked to have been on the crew for that movie production and do pyro. The charges and the explosion things.
That's always, that's the best part.
That'd be awesome. I mean, the closest I got to that is I did a Bon Jovi concert as part of the local crew and did all the flash pots and some of the other things that were hanging. And
did the band come out and check everything that was safe?
Well, the fire department was always there.
Oh, really? Yeah.
But there was a guy with the band that made sure my work was done properly. He trained me in about 5 minutes. Says, you might want to take off your belt buckle and rings, and I did that. And I could see why, because it was
why
shot from the heart. Blah blah blah. You give love a bad name, and all my work goes up in smoke in a microsecond. I worked like 2 hours on that stuff.
Why did you have to take off your belt?
Because there's like flash powder in there.
Yeah.
In a bag, like a bag thing. Then there's 2 electrodes that get plugged in with connectors like these, these XLR connectors.
Yep.
To a main termination point where it's almost like you're going to blow something up.
Okay.
It's electronic. Boom.
Okay.
And then
they didn't want you transmitting a stray spark.
Yeah. There was a danger for that. It wasn't like gunpowder was going to blow up in your face, but it could.
Right.
Hey, Rob.
I was just going to say, this is a good instance why they maybe shouldn't have legalized getting a breath of fresh air because.
Robert.
Cobra.
Are you, while they're talking about their, whatever they're talking about, I sent up the T-shirt to the chat page of the, tell me if this is your shirt. Is this the one you have? Oh, yeah. I always like the little palm trees they had in the back of that. And he's got the little buddy.
I want to see the shirt.
He's got the little buddy.
Give me the screens. Mac, give me the screens. I want to see what the heck they're talking about.
I find it's really, if you can divert those two with a picture right about now in the course of the show, it's usually an effective way to get them back onto the track.
We were back on track. What are you talking about? Anyway, listen, Rob. In the last few, no, actually we have
in the few minutes remaining.
We're talking about this Planet Z thing. Okay?
Yeah.
And basically, there's a chance that there are two alien superstructures way out there on the Kuiper Belt. One of them just kind of showed up. You read the story. Just supposing these things, one of them, two of them were alien superstructures, and they at some point come our way. As crazy as it is there anything on Earth we could do?
Well, it depends on the size and the mass of the object, right? Because it's unknown. So, really, the question you're looking at, I think, with this is, any kind of. You'd have to look at the asteroid avoidance and deflection and destruction.
Okay.
Technologies and possibilities there,
right?
And whether or not because it's the same basic idea. You're going to put a big laser array, or you're going to use nuclear weapons to try to destroy or divert,
right?
Whatever it is that's heading toward the Earth.
So it's actually really two questions. One of them is if this thing was just something that might be hitting us, like another object or whatever that comes in and hits us and, really kind of destroy everything. If it did, it would be definitely make everything extinct. It would probably be the biggest extinction event of all time. Then you would try to somehow land nuclear bombs on it or something. But they said I know there's a danger, if you light up nuclear bombs strong enough to actually divert this thing, there's going to be rubble and stuff like that, and that will just fall.
Be all over the place.
So, what is it? Get as far out as you can?
Well, if it's a planet-size object, you're screwed.
Yeah,
but
okay.
I looked into this, and it's pretty interesting. I mean, as far as using a nuclear bomb on a asteroid, say, if the idea is that you would, a lot.
Daddy, where do babies come from?
Honey?
Mommy went to the store.
Oh, well, you see, there's a mommy and a daddy, right?
Right.
And see, when they call Geico, they could save a bunch of money on car insurance.
Oh, really? And that makes them happy?
Yes, that makes them very happy.
That's good.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad we could have this talk, Sunshine.
Geico, because saving 15% or more on car insurance is always a great answer.
These asteroids are, they're called them piles of rubble. Astronomers call them piles of rubber, really loosely held together by gravity. So you'd break up into fragments, and you would almost be the planet would be. How am I going to phrase this?
Like they would suck it in. The gravitational force would suck all this rubble right in onto us.
It's like being hit by buckshot as opposed to being hit by a shotgun slug.
Yeah, right.
Which is not great, but you would probably prefer to be hit by the buckshot than the slug.
Right. Well, if you're lucky enough, the buckshot doesn't hit you. It's hitting somewhere in China or something.
So you call Geico and you have your windshield replaced.
They'll
big
fix
deal.
it for you. Yeah.
Well, not all of the. I mean, it would also depend on the yield of the nuclear device, where you detonate it,
right?
Not. And again, there's a lot of different models for the the effects that would happen. Some models have suggested that a lot of the fragments would be diverted. They would reach escape velocity from the explosion. Mm-hmm. So you need a big enough nuclear bomb. But if you have that, you could put it on a spacecraft. It doesn't have to be very big, and you could send it, millions of miles for the object.
But you might not have the time. You know what I mean? What's the time factor in something like this would be?
Years. You would need years.
And wouldn't the whole Earth have to rally together and do this? Or would they be fighting over what rocket to shoot up and stuff? I mean, they really would be.
Well, can you just see that old discussion, how that's going to go? Who's going to pay for it? Oh, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
The government contractors will mobilize. Don't worry.
You wonder if that would be a thing that hopefully the whole planet would kind of get over all their everyday
their issues,
petty bickering, and
that's the problem.
Say, hey, we got a giant planet from the Oort cloud heading toward Earth, and we might want to get together and do something about this.
Kumbaya. I don't know. I don't think it's in us. I really don't. If it happened, back in the 50s or something, I could see everyone rallying around. Let's do it. 60s even in a way.
Like Dr. Strangelove, big meeting.
Yeah, right. Yes.
I think you should take it to Google and somebody else and let them fight for property rights.
Well, that's who. Yeah,
that would right.
That's probably who would finance it. When you think about it, and they'd somehow cash in on it. And the rocket went up.
Yeah, they would rule the world after successfully making Planet Z not hit us. They'd be more in charge than they are right now.
Right.
There you go.
I got to really quickly just talk real quick about, we were talking about Google and Amazon, especially when Cindy Bailey Dove was on the other night. And she was talking about how, someday they're going to be like these huge Zeppelins, Amazon stuff, and they're going to do the stuff by drone.
Amazon Zeppelin.
Okay. And that's what it's going to be. All right.
The AmZep.
During this, we were talking about, we go, but where are they? Where are the Zeppelins going to be supplied, right? And read in the paper maybe a week ago that in Staten Island, Amazon is building, get this, a 100 square foot warehouse. Okay? 1 million square foot warehouse. Wow. You know how big that is? And it's one of 4 that they're building on this site. So that's where it's going to be. That's a lot of space.
Yep.
So this just means this is going to happen. This stuff with the.
I'm actually looking forward to that. Zeppelins. I don't know about the Zeppelin, but
it's going to happen. You're
the
going to
drones that are going to be off course.
Drones coming off. I don't know.
The first drone that hits my car, even if it's dropping off my remastered Sgt. Pepper album. Collection.
Yeah. And you're going to sign a little document,
a waiver on the website
when you bought it that said, "Hey, they're not responsible for when it screws up."
By the way, I live not too far from the Peterbilt headquarters. The semi-truck manufacturer, and I see the executives walking around here and there with their Peterbilt shirts, and they just are partnering with a company to build the self-driving trucks.
A self-driving semi.
You combine those with the big Amazon distribution warehouses and the drones and so on. It's going to be very interesting. I need to talk to them, but yeah.
I mean, it's coming. It really is coming. Whether we want it or not, there's a lot of stuff that seems to be coming. I don't want driverless cars. Come on.
How about the company in Wisconsin? I meant to ask Barbara about it. It's called 3 Market Square, the number 3 Market Square, and they're test driving this implant on 50 employees of the company. Their thing is that you have enough information in this implant, like Beautiful Mind, Russell Crowe.
Okay, yeah.
It's going to be like in your fleshy area between your thumb and your hand, I think is where they put it. And you can sweep it by their vending machines and all the stuff. Yeah. And it'll automatically make the purchase.
Really? So they'll implant something in your hand so you can buy junk food?
Yeah.
Well, listen, you know what? If I was a juvenile, I'd say, what hand?
Epitome of civilization. Why worry about Planet C? Get yourself a Zagnut bar. You're all set.
An implant and go, boom.
The implant is a little too far for me, I have to say.
I wanted an implant. I think an implant should have your medical history and all that stuff, so when the ambulance comes in, they're not looking at just this.
Yeah, they have a really good rundown on your body parts that are for sale, and they can just move that stuff right on.
They probably have a vending machine in the ambulance. So why are they?
Well, that's one thing. I don't know about buying candy bars.
One bracelet has your blood type and your name. The other one says, delete my browsing history.
Yeah, right. Which is a note I've sent to you on a number of occasions. Okay. Keep it in mind, please. So, Rob, all right, let's go to the second scenario. Let's say this thing was, artificially built. Let's say it's a spaceship. Let's say it's a Death Star. It's the size of Mars. Do we have anything on this Earth that we could go to war with these beings with, just in case something like that happened?
Oh, that's tricky. Well, I don't know. I mean, I would ask you all, though, what you think about laser weapons being used for something like this, because there was some interesting papers that have been written about how to build a phased laser satellite array. Actually, that comes up. It gives me another idea. But you could divert. See, for instance, you could divert relatively small asteroids like Apophis, which was one that caused a lot of alarm a few years ago because it could potentially impact Earth in the future, 2029. That you could build a sufficiently large, actually not much larger than the laser that's aboard that Navy transport dock.
Right. Mm-hmm.
and you could put, it's like a 30 kilowatt laser into space, and you could aim it at this asteroid for, it would take several years, but you could, you would be able to divert it just by burning the laser, burning the asteroid, and then you could push it off course. But
deflecting it by the energy.
Right, and then another idea is to actually focus solar energy. So you would construct a large solar cell, and move it toward the sun, and then you could use the sun, direct its
But that would take a long time to develop something like that. At least lasers, we know what they can do.
Right.
I like that idea. Have something out there floating, and hopefully it doesn't hit us. And so this thing is supposed to hit us in 26? Was it 2026?
I believe there was a slim possibility that Apophis, the asteroid, could impact Earth in 2029, but then there were further observations, and it was much less likely. So, so that's an immediate threat that's no longer so immediate. But I think the thing to worry about a big focused solar array is that you build a big giant space weapon, that could melt a planet or melt an asteroid. You could also direct it toward the Earth. So
if you divert the planet, if you divert the asteroid, then you control the planet.
That's right.
Let's face it. So, Rob,
first I get the asteroid, then I get the world.
There you go.
Suffice to say, I'm pretty skeptical of. I mean, if you're talking about giant Death Stars or giant or planet-sized objects,
what would be the point, right?
Yeah, I'm going to have to say, unfortunately, we're doomed.
You're doomed. Okay. It's kind of like the Indians way back, and they said, "Hey, I saw a ship out there." Oh, yeah, really, Then a year goes by and goes, there are 2 ships out there now. I wonder what those things are about. And then 100 years later, boom, boom.
Maybe we could make friends with it.
Yeah, okay.
Hopefully.
That's precious.
Maybe it was printed out there, like 3D printing. All of a sudden, there's another ship.
You never well, hey.
This giant 3D printer.
Maybe it's to throw us off.
Yep.
Well, no.
Interesting.
It's
actually, another thing.
Yep.
You asked me to look into this, and I was looking at our nuclear stockpile. The largest nuclear bomb that we currently have is the B-83, which has 1.2 megatons.
1.2 megatons, okay. And
1.2 megatons.
What was the Hiroshima bomb? It was like 24 kilotons or something?
Something like it was. Yeah, it was
very small. Yeah. Is that a hydrogen bomb? Is that a hydrogen bomb? That thing?
It was an atomic bomb in Hiroshima. The hydrogen was on Nagasaki.
No. I'm going to bet you $10 it wasn't a hydrogen bomb on Nagasaki.
They were both atomic bombs. Yeah, the B-83, I believe, is a hydrogen bomb. But the more important thing here is that we may, and I don't think this has been confirmed, but we may still have some B-53s lying around, which are the old 9 megaton.
Cool.
So they're a bit bigger.
So somehow get them up there, and it'd be like flicking in their eye, and then they'll just boop.
They're supposed to have been disassembled after the Cold War out of the big U.S. government's Pantex plant near Amarillo.
Yeah.
Which is So
well, the property value is there. You know what I mean?
My mom is from Amarillo, and her mother was a Air Force Base cook.
Oh wow!
So way back in the '60s. So this so they're very familiar with the Pantex plant there.
Yeah,
so
right.
It's a tourist
big
attraction.
Nuclear weapons target.
Yeah, really. Yeah.
Nuclear. And poor Amarillo, but so there may. Okay, so in 2015, the National Nuclear Security Administration, which oversees nuclear weapons disassembly, in their budget request, they had noted that the B-53 disassembly process had been delayed. So even though people thought that the U.S. government had gotten rid of these years ago, but they may still be sitting around somewhere in a reserve stockpile, possibly for what we're talking about.
I hope they tell those guys to take their rings and belt buckles off.
That's right.
One of these babies could go up. Hey, Rob Beckhausen of War is Boring. Thanks for joining us tonight. War is Boring, best military writing on the net. Very soon, I hear, to do a huge story on us. Right there, Rob?
Working on,
working
right
on
away.
Working on it. Okay, yeah, that's good. Okay, thank you, Rob. Isn't that what he
Bye,
said?
Rob.
I think you've been here 16 weeks. Hasn't he said that all 16 weeks?
Yeah, he's working on a story on this.
All right.
I actually don't know what angle he'd possibly be doing
just
other than
the merry band. What else?
promoting his gig, which was fine.
His gig, yeah, it's okay. Sure.
The three
for free.
Yeah.
For 3 years for free,
Yep.
every week.
Shameless self-promotion.
It's okay. No, for them, I think if I was on the other side of I'd say, wow, great, man. Not costing us a thing.
Yep, that's right.
Not even a story.
Go, Rob.
Thank you, Rob, for looking into it and working on it. I appreciate it. Okay? And any conventions, wear that shirt, my friend. And I think you'll have a dishwasher in your future. I really do. I'm not talking about our shirt. I'm talking about the RoboCop shirt.
Oh, wait, before you go, what kind of coffee do you drink?
Oh, I actually don't know. It's like a generic brand from Target.
Really?
It's pretty grody. Yeah, it's first time for everything.
Right.
Wow.
Okay.
Huh? You drink it black?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Holy cow.
That's how we do things in the South.
Huh, really? Can I ask you something? Was the dishwasher, did she drink coffee too?
Yeah.
Really? Yeah? Okay, so breath isn't an issue, right?
Are you still in contact with the dishwasher?
Ouch.
No. That's not. Come on, Cobra, keep up. Go, keep up. Thank you very much, Rob, for joining us.
Yep. Thanks.
And, if Planet Z comes,
Does the dishwasher listen to this show?
Sayonara. Oh, that would be funny.
I don't think so.
If only you could make that happen, boy. Thank you, Rob, and we'll talk to you soon, okay?
Yep, see you then.
Bye, Rob.
Where's
Be safe.
Be safe, and he really means it, living down there.
He's treading where...
Why don't we take a commercial break now?
All right.
And we'll be right back after this with another fascinating segment. You're listening to Mack Maloney Miller X-Files Show here on the Distant Thunder Radio Network. Juan-Juan, have anything to say in 3 seconds? No? You sure?
Got it.
Okay.
It's yours.
We'll be right back after this.
Over the years, Air Force Major Hawk Hunter and his band of patriotic fighter pilots have fought tirelessly to reunite a fractured America, devastated by a Russian sneak attack. Now, returning from a mysterious space odyssey, Hunter finds a huge Russian army occupying New York City, ready to invade the rest of America. Buzzing through the city's skyscraper canyons in a tiny top-secret ghost plane and seeing the invaders' massive weaponry for himself, Hawk realizes he's up against the greatest danger his homeland has ever faced. But equally alarming are reports claiming that Hawk's former girlfriend, Dominique, is living with the head of the Russian secret police in a Manhattan penthouse. Is she his prisoner, or is she something else? With the woman and the country he loves in dire peril, Hawk Hunter, the wingman, will apply all his aviation prowess to launch the most crucial battle for America yet, no matter what the risks. Filled with fast-paced action, a wide range of aircraft and military hardware, Battle for America brings back your favorite characters from earlier books in the Wingman series and delivers a riveting story that reveals new insight on America's most famous hero, the Wingman. That's Wingman 18, The Battle for America, on sale now at Amazon.com and available at your local bookstore.
UFOs are found in Renaissance art, on ancient coins, and etched on cave walls. They are even reported in the Bible. But more surprising is when UFOs are seen the most in times of war. Through centuries, thousands of UFO sightings have been made by high-ranking officials, military pilots, and ordinary soldiers. Often, these fantastic appearances occur at the height of great battles. From World War I to D-Day, to Korea, Vietnam, and beyond, military investigators are baffled. Why do UFO sightings spike so drastically during wartime? Could it be mistaken aircraft, or is someone, or something, looking in on us? In UFOs in Wartime, What They Didn't Want You to Know, Mack Maloney chronicles centuries of these incredible sightings and tries to solve the puzzle of why so many UFOs are seen while humanity is at war. Read about the scare ships, the ghost planes, and the ghost rockets, alien giants in the jungles of Vietnam, UFOs controlling our ICBM bases, dogfights with flying saucers during the Gulf War, and more. 300 pages of unbelievable stories, along with many startling photographs. That's UFOs in Wartime, What They Didn't Want You to Know, by Mack Maloney. On sale at your local bookstore or on Amazon.com.
can't handle the truth. Only Commander Cobra can handle the truth.
Hey, welcome back, everyone, to Mack Maloney's Military Exile show here on the Distant Thunder Radio Network. This man in the studio with us tonight, the big 16th week in a row. Juan-Juan is here in person.
Hello, Mac. I love sleeping here, though. It's so I'm never late. I can come in early.
Upside down.
Over.
Wow,
upside down.
Right. Upside down. Here, Cobra, upside down. Funny. Yeah. Okay. Wow.
I hang like a possum.
There you go. Wow, that was really.
You smile like one too, brother.
What a shit.
I have possums coming in my yard. They're great.
Really? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
They like my suet I put there on the ground.
Okay. Another show, maybe.
They grab a
Don't
big
you have
piece.
bears too?
Yeah, I haven't seen the bears since. I took my feeders down there for a while. I put them back up.
Oh, yeah?
And I left them overnight just to see what would happen.
There you go. Yeah, you're the only person in the world who wants to bring bears onto their property.
You got scared away by the heavy summer activity that's in a children's camp on the other side of the woods.
Oh, that will do it. Yeah.
So it's scaring him from that side, and he says, "Screw this, I'm out of here."
But all it takes is one.
I know.
That's
I get pictures, right? I get video. I get pictures.
Yeah, helicopters flying over. Anyway. On the phone with us. Oh, the Cobra's here. You've already heard him.
Yeah, don't be sound so excited, Mac.
Well, I don't know. I'm expecting you to say
something.
Thanks. Okay. Should we review our rap names?
Nah, we don't have time.
We don't have time.
We only got a few minutes for
All right.
here.
All right, just, everyone should know that Commander Cobra's rap name is Coco. We didn't do one for you there, Steve, but we're going to do next week. We'll have a rap name for you, okay?
I'll be waiting with breathless anticipation.
There you go, right from the streets, brother. So we've been talking tonight about this thing called Planet Z. I know that you read the article that we all read.
Right.
It seems like, something showed up way out there in the Kuiper Belt a year ago, and then they took another look recently, and it turns out another one has shown up as well. So there's these two enormous structures out there, out beyond the orbits of Neptune and in Uranus. And
my favorite planet.
No one knows what it is, okay? No one knows what they are, but it's very, very strange that a second one would show up in less than a year. Anything in the annals of UFOs that, even come close to... I mean, these things are the size of Mars, let's say.
Right. Well, I guess there's quite a bit of stuff out there, and I think they're probably going to keep finding stuff, Even I was looking back, I guess it was an article in the New York Times back in 1982, and they were talking about Planet X. In the same context, there's something big.
Daddy, where do babies come from?
Honey?
Mommy went to the store.
Oh, well, you see, there's a mommy and a daddy, right?
Right.
And see, when they call Geico, they could save a bunch of money on car insurance.
Oh, really? And that makes them happy?
Yes, that makes them very happy.
That's good.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad we could have this talk, Sunshine.
Geico, because saving 15% or more on car insurance is always a great answer.
Out there that was messing with the orbits of Uranus and Neptune.
Right.
And so, yeah. And then this James McCanney, I don't know if you've heard of him. He wrote a book called Planet Earth, Comets, and Planet X, Earth Comets and Earth Changes.
Mm-hmm.
He claimed back at that time that he had inside knowledge that NASA, that if they really knew something was headed toward the Earth, was going to hit us, they had a policy of just keeping it quiet, and letting us find out at the last minute.
Commander, what do you think of that?
Well, you know what? I think...
no, I just want to ask the commander for a second. What do you think of that? Okay. Do you think NASA has a policy to prevent us from knowing the truth?
Yes.
You do? Now, how long?
Why? Why would they do that?
Why would they do it? Just so not to panic, worldwide panic, that type of thing?
I believe that you have a situation where there's a very select, self-appointed group that feels that they need to be in charge of every aspect of our lives,
right.
And we approach that closer. And why mess up a good thing, even if the end is coming? Let's just keep things in order.
How many? If something was coming to the point that NASA is going to withhold the story from us, how many people at NASA are going to know this? It will be in the hundreds.
I know where you're going to go with it, Mac,
Well,
and it's going to be okay. So how can it keep it quiet and all that?
Right.
Obviously, it wouldn't have, especially the age that we live in. And you
Right.
act like you're surprised that
No, I'm not
somehow
surprised
they
at
have
all.
antiquated rules
Yeah,
of
right,
knowledge at the end of the world that they somehow think they can keep
Boy,
a lid on it.
He's taking it
point
personal.
is-
man.
No, I understand though. He's right. He's absolutely right. I could see the whole let's say infrastructure of this country being behind the times. I mean the political infrastructure for sure.
It is.
It's called bad optics. You know what I mean? You know, they do stuff.
We've made
they think
this
they're going to
thing
get
out
away
that
with.
we
it,
are
they
the
don't.
greatest achievement of ourselves. We place mankind and everything created by man above everything else. There's nothing else. So if something like this was coming and they had to fess up to it, they're going to wait till the last second.
But I think the word would get out. You know, last week on Howard Stern, a competition, Howard Stern, the guy who killed bin Laden was on Howard Stern.
Oh, man.
Now, what does that tell you? That tells you anyone will talk at any time.
Yeah.
Hey, Switch, we're eating into your time. So anyway, go on, please.
right.
Please, go on.
Well,
NASA has this law saying that they would not tell us if something bad was coming this way. But if one of these things start coming this way, we're going to know about it because we know they're out there.
Well, I think with the amount of amateur astronomers out there that have some pretty good optics and can see these things, somebody's going to pick up on it. But I agree with Cobra. I think that the powers that be are just going to especially if it's really something that they figured is going to either hit or it doesn't even have to hit something with something large body with a relatively close pass could really mess up a planet. I mean, there are some theorists that believe. I'm told that the planet Mars, like half of it is very different than the other half, and the suggestion is that at one point in time, some large body came very close to Mars and messed it all up.
Right. Yeah.
There
Sure.
may very well have been life on it. I mean, I've always been intrigued by the face on Mars and some of the ruins that seem to be near there.
Right.
I give that some
reason why their
credibility.
train isn't running. So there you go.
You never know.
That's right.
Them and the MPTA. Hey, listen, you got to remember too that I think more than half of NASA's attempts to reach Mars and to kind of look around, even though there's stuff on there now that's rolling around and so on. You go back and look to it, like more than half of them have failed. One of them cost a couple $2 billion, and they blamed it on the fact that one part of it was measured in American measements, and the other part was measured in metric.
English versus
Okay,
metric.
now, do you really think that out of like a $2 or $3 billion project, someone isn't going to pick up on that? I see that as a cover story. I don't know why.
Yep.
Another one, the southern, like a southern lander or something like that. Just disappeared. Lots of them have disappeared, and I've always thought, that's almost a little bit too many. Half. Why would you keep doing it? So, maybe there's something there. But the whole idea that they would keep, the whole idea that they'd be able to keep the secret that something is coming.
It's pretty difficult.
It will be very difficult. I think this.
Something of that caliber, definitely.
Huh, well, so, has there been reports? I mean, what's the I was thinking about this. What's the largest UFO that's ever been reported? I know some of them are reported 3 or 4 miles long.
Well, yeah, some of these huge triangles and so forth. And, of course, if you get into some of the contactee literature, like George Adamski and so forth, they'll claim that they've been, scooped up by the scout ships and gone on board these giant cigar-shaped ships of, 2 or 3 miles long. But we might want to, not give that a lot of credibility.
Right, yeah, sure.
The only other thing in kind of UFO lore is the sort of the original, if you will, Planet X. Zachariah Sitchin, the book The 12th Planet, and supposedly deciphering the Sumerian tablets and so forth.
Right, sure.
And he's the one that talks about the Anunnaki.
Yep.
And Nibiru being the planet that they came from, and creating humans, in a test tube, and creating them to make them slaves to mine gold on the earth. Now, there's a lot of very strong devotees to Sitchin.
Yes.
But I am not. I'm more of I'm definitely not a Sumerian scholar, but there's another Dr. Michael Heiser, who is now, of course, Sitchin has passed a few years ago, but Heiser is an expert in the Sumerian tablets and has doctorates in Sumerian language. Semitic languages and so forth. When I read his stuff, he claims that Sitchin really doesn't have any basis for what he believes. He says that the Mesopotamians actually left us a sort of a dictionary so that we can look at and look at the ancient writings and decipher what exactly they meant. So he says, his Sitchin's view of Nibiru being the planet,
yes,
and that the Anunnaki came from them is all completely bogus. As he says, it's not even a matter of a difference in translation. It's simply not even there. So
well, it's fun reading, though. That's the thing, and just through the biz, I met the person who runs Sitchin's books. Still, he died maybe 4 or 5 years ago.
Yeah, something like that.
Okay, and how many books did he have? It's at least a lot.
Good Lord, a dozen?
Yeah, at least. Yeah, at least. Okay. Yeah. You would not, if I told you, I don't even know, but the number of those books that sell every year, every month, your head would come off. Believe me, it's huge. He is still in death. He is an enormous bestseller.
Well, a few years ago there was another. I can't recall the lady's name, but she claimed that she was channeling the Zetas, and the Zetas were warning that the arrival of Planet X was imminent and headed toward the Earth. And then, she even gave specific dates. And of course, like every other channel or every other prophet throughout history, it fell through, and we somehow got through it.
Right, yeah, so, sure. Strange. So once again, so we're talking about the largest UFOs ever been spotted. I know off in Newfoundland, that whole Gander incident, some of the people said that thing was like more than 2 miles long. I mean, but there's never been anything like the size of Mars, right?
No, but do you remember a while ago there was a shuttle mission, I think the STS-75, where they had sent a satellite out, and it was on a long tether, miles long, and it broke. And you look at the film of it, and it looks like there's this giant object moving behind the tether, like a giant donut-shaped object.
Wow!
And it caused all kinds of controversy.
Yeah, I know this. Right, I've seen the pictures. Right.
Okay, but it turns out it's an optical illusion. I dug out my archives. I've got an episode. Remember UFO Hunters? It was a pretty good show.
Sure,
yeah. The last episode of the first season was on the NASA files, and it shows some pretty interesting footage of things that may be anomalous. But they demonstrated on the show that because of some kind of backlighting, just the natural backlighting in that situation, and they reproduced it in the laboratory, it was all an optical illusion. The object actually was not passing in back of the tether; it was in front of it, and they were just ice particles.
Wow!
So that was a bit of a disappointment because I thought that looked like it was really something at first, but pretty clear demonstration on that show that it was in fact an optical illusion.
Well, let me ask this question then, Cobra too. So if would this edict that NASA has, would it also apply to everyone who's on the space shuttle? If they see something, don't say anything?
Well, yeah. No one likes to talk about it, but there were protocols set up that if the astronauts were told that they couldn't get them back in the Apollo program, they had set up a series of protocols in there, and they carried life-ending drugs with them, so they didn't have to experience, like if they couldn't get them back down, if they missed it. They have protocols, or they had protocols in place to break the feeds if things went awry.
And Matt Damon had that, didn't he?
No, what on the Martian?
Yeah,
the Martian. Yeah. So that stuff exists. That's part of it. And to just do a quick sidestep, this is why when the astronaut hand comes over the camera or the cameras go offline, just about the time when someone on the ground says, "Doesn't that look like a foreign object?" or "That doesn't look like it belongs there," it lends support to the folks that believe that information's being held, that the truth is out there, to use the old X-Files line. And there's a group of people, self-appointed, I can't stress that particular point enough, self-appointed, that are going to hold it back because they don't think the rest of us little trugs are pay your taxes. Let us continue to do what we're doing, but you really don't need to know what's going on.
Maybe we don't need.
Don't you think that's the opinion of throughout history? The elites have always looked at the great unwashed as someone that doesn't need to know this, and the more knowledge they have of these things, these esoteric things or hard to know things, the more the more powerful they feel.
Right. Do you
and I think that's why you had such conflict during the Renaissance, because there was a lot of very intelligent people who didn't go along with the people who thought they were really smart. And they started to reach out to the masses and say, art and philosophy is up for everybody. Mm-hmm. You can question what's going on.
Didn't the Catholic Church try to prevent the Bible from being translated into English?
Sure,
or any language?
Yeah.
One of the great sins of that Protestant King James. Yeah. That's correct.
There you go.
Whoa.
Wow.
That's the one. That's the one I read.
Really? And that's not uncommon.
There more words on that one?
The same thing happens in the world of Islam.
Yes.
There's a lot of push to ever have the Quran not to be written in Arabic.
Yeah.
So
idea. Anyway, hey, Steve Areno. So so go on, please.
Well, I was just, when the discussion made me think of the moon landings, the big controversy, like, oh, they're all fake. It's, the flag moved and all this stuff.
Right.
Well, there's another camp on the complete opposite side that says, I think Richard Hoagland promotes some of this, where the astronauts saw all kinds of stuff.
Right.
That they couldn't talk about, and that even the suggestion that some of them were manipulated. I don't know if you call it an MK Ultra move or whatever, but made to forget some of the things they had seen on the moon that were quite spectacular.
Okay, let me ask you this. Okay, and I know I'm going to sound like beating a dead horse here, but just on the segment before this, we talked about how the guy who killed Bin Laden from SEAL Team 6 was on Howard Stern last week, pushing a book or something. All right. If someone in SEAL Team 6 in one of the most, classified missions, or what should be, ever, if he is on Howard Stern, some guy in NASA is going to go to 60 Minutes, Time Magazine, New York Times, and they're going to spill the beans on this.
Well, some of them have,
whether
I can't remember the name of the astronaut, but some have come forward and talked about some of the, strange things they've seen when they were in flight. Mm-hmm. And God, I wish I could remember the guy's name.
But I can see that. I know that they did see strange things on the way, and I think one of them, something like followed them the whole way, and they thought it was just a piece of debris. Then it turns out it wasn't. So that stuff happens for sure. But I think that if they're on the moon and they see, there were ancient structures there or something like that, or some kind of sign there was civilization, you couldn't keep that secret. You couldn't.
Well, there is some interesting footage. There's one where I think it's maybe Apollo 8. When the first one they went around the moon before they actually landed. Mm-hmm. There's in the corner, you're looking through the window of the capsule, and you see there's like a tower or something on the moon, and like a small jet of smoke or something comes out, and that's allegedly a real. Real piece of footage. Hard to know. I mean, that's way before CGI came in vogue.
Right.
So,
well, in one of the astronauts, I forget, which landing it was, but his name was Alan Bean, right? And he was like the principal photographer. He got off. Now, this is their story. Who knows? He got off the land. He's walking around on the moon. He takes the camera to start taking pictures, and he points it directly into the sun, and he like ruins this $2 million camera.
I remember that. Right? I was I was so disappointed.
Yeah, and everyone there was no pictures.
Those pictures were so much clearer than that was the next Apollo mission after the first one, the landing.
Why wasn't there a backup?
Well, yeah, why wasn't there a backup? Number one thing. And don't you think that the first thing they would say to this guy in camera on the moon training is, don't point it at the sun? And that's it. So I always wondered, hey, maybe, who knows what's really on there.
His mother should have told him that.
Manufactured it, there must have been a little label on there. Please, do not walk up tall ladders with this, and do not point it at the sun.
Right. Well, he made a mistake. So anyway, hey, Switcherino, thanks a lot. We really appreciate it. Anything going on up there in the world of flakes?
No, I'm trying to get my talk together for the Mothman Festival. Don't want to leave it to the last minute. I'm going to do kind of one of these PowerPoint.
Are you black tying that talk? Are you going to be in
I'm planning on wearing a white shirt and tie.
Oh wow! Okay.
He's going to be limoed in. It's going to be great.
That's the way to go.
You're going to have your X-Files, Mack Maloney X-Files T-shirt?
It's in negotiations.
Well, it will be. I'll be wearing it during the event, and I'm going to get my my camera person to take some. Actually, next I'm going to go down in a couple of weeks to Point Pleasant, and the plan is to get a picture of me in my Mack Maloney T-shirt, gazing at the Mothman statue.
Did he just say he has a camera person that travels with him?
He's got an entourage.
Well, wow. Here's the deal. There's one guy that is one of our Mothman irregulars, so to speak. He's one of the few guys that can properly work my camera without screwing it up. So he's my camera guy.
Okay.
He should have been on the space flight.
Yeah.
Then.
Sounded better, when you had an entourage.
So when is the festival?
We'll work on that. When is it? What's the date?
Third weekend in September, which is something like the 15th, 16th. I'm on Sunday at noon.
And would you have about like 3,000 people down there last time?
Oh, it was phenomenal.
Yeah,
and you could barely move down there. There were so many people.
It's the Mothman Festival, right, in Point Pleasant, West Virginia, correct?
Point Pleasant, West Virginia.
15,
right.
16, 17. That'll be Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
And by the way, I also have my little bio I made up for it. It does happen to mention that you can hear me weekly as a correspondent on Mack Maloney's Military X-Files.
Whoa.
there you go.
Broadcasting. That's right. Yeah.
Thank you.
This is going to be like national recognition.
He's loyal. Yes.
And I resisted the temptation, to say Steve's Military X-Files.
You can say that twice a show. Hey, Steve, thanks very much. You get to work on that speech because the middle of September is right around the corner there, my friend.
I know. It'll come up quick.
Okay. Thanks a lot, Steve, for joining us.
Thank you, Steve.
And that's the end of the show. The big
already
show here. Yeah.
We've been whipping through this.
I know. So we have to thank our loveliest guest, of course, was Barbara With. Coming to us from the island.
Psychic, the channeler,
right?
Singer, songwriter.
She's everything. Thank you, Barbara, for joining us. Also, thank you to Rob Beckhausen for educating us on RoboCop. I want to go see it, 1 and 2. Avoid 3 and 4. And also Switcherino for telling us about the biggest UFOs ever. And nothing can match this thing that is heading towards us, Planet Z. We're the ones. We should copyright that Juan-Juan.
Right in the line of fire, Planet Z.
Yep.
Isn't there a B-52 song called Planet Z?
Planet Z, yeah, probably. What's the interesting thing?
Jeff, put it under the
the first one they found out there, Planet X. What they're really calling it is Planet 9, which is perfect, because that's like the worst movie.
Like Plan 9 from Outer Space, right.
Space is about Planet 9.
Ed Wood, played by?
Ed Wood. Right?
Johnny Depp.
Oh, in the movie, yeah. Yeah. Ed Wood that's another show, baby, because he was really out there. Commander Cobra, thank you for joining us.
You're welcome. I just wanted to tell you that I ran the Planet Z song. I got Indiana Menzel for the song.
Very famous.
Sitting in my easy chair. I got no friends, but I really don't care. I don't remember birthdays. I don't remember names.
Wow. Sounds like Juan-Juan's theme song.
I love it.
Yeah.
Released in 98. It's a new age song.
Yep. Something tells me he's doing more than coffee. That cheap coffee that Rob gets down there.
The B-52s had Channel Z. If you want to run this all the way down to the
Channel Z.
50 pounds of coffee at a time he gets down there for like $11.
That doesn't matter, the 50 pounds. It's how long it lasts. That's what we get to determine.
That's true.
He gets it right off the donkey that's being pulled by Juan Valdez.
That's the gas that went in the hole, so we can say that. Anyway, thank you very much, Commander Cobra, and thank you, Juan-Juan, for joining us. So this is Mack Maloney.
Happy to be here.
To everyone out there, thank you very much. Really appreciate the people writing to us who won the free books, writing thank yous. Really appreciate it. Everyone really loves the show. I'll let you guys read those emails at some point. And everyone is always asking for Juan-Juan, of course. So until
I want to see some of these letters.
I got them right there. The little hearts.